Tony Dunn. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
What's up, Panther fans? It's a free agent frenzy as the legal tampering period has begun for free agency, which just means free agency has begun, and the Carolina Panthers struck swiftly in retooling or adding to this defense to give Evero, whichever one it is.
Yeah, you nailed it.
To give him the tools he needs to put a 3-4 defense on the table, as well as to support a rookie quarterback that we will be securing in this draft. The Carolina Panthers have brought in another Shy to Charlotte. That's right. Shy Tuttle is here. Vonn Bell is a Carolina Panther. And most importantly, they continue to build that wall with big bear, as they call him, Big Bear in the locker room. Bradley Bozeman. Man, we've been watching all the news fly across Twitter today, and we had to jump on and talk about it. I'm here with my co-host, my wheelman, Cody Lashney.
Tony Dunn. Man, free agency is underway. What a time to be a Panthers fan, dude. We have the number 1 overall pick. Bradley Bozeman, our boy, is coming back home, re-signed as the center for the Carolina Panthers. A lot of former Saints players now joining the Carolina Panthers in the form of Vonn Bell and Shy Tuttle. Man, we have a great impromptu Monday show in store for the C3 Panthers Podcast fans. The fans that you know and love. Tony, it's your boys. Adam Sanders, our guys Drew, Alex Stark, Craig Cartner, John B. Jenkins, Joshua Hall, Old School Panther fans, Supreme Leader Z, Roosevelt Mongo, Panther Pickle, Underground West, Tony Dunn. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. It's a Monday. Let's roll.
You don't want to win in March and April and lose in December, January, and February. But sometimes winning in March and April can lead to winning later down the road. Carolina Panthers are trying to get stronger. There's going to be a lot of new names and a lot of new faces. And you're also watching a lot of the other teams that we know to be the giants of this past year, hemorrhaging people, hemorrhaging talent. We poached a little bit of the Saints talent as they went with Derek Carr. CK, this is what's beautiful about football. New year. It's a new year, and it's like a new hope, a new day with new teams.
Oh, dude, you're not lying, man. It's fun to see the way the dominoes fall. And even though we had some good signings, there wasn't like a blockbuster deal yet. We just shored up the things we needed to shore up. The Vonn Bell
just
signing,
the beginning too.
Exactly. The Vonn Bell signing indicates that Jeremy Chin might be moving back to linebacker, like we all hope he will, or at least some form of being able to be in a hybrid position like that. There's some things that they've done to really give us an idea of what their plans are moving forward. And the fact that there hasn't been an offensive signing that has to do with a wide receiver or tight end is a bit surprising, given that we just gave up DJ Moore. The fact that hasn't, but to be fair, no wide receiver has gone in the market yet. They have not. It's not been a super run on the wide receivers like it was last year with Christian Kirk and DJ Moore getting his deal done and many other guys finding homes last year. This year, it's very much quiet on the front lines for the wide receivers that are free agents looking for a new deal. Could be good for the Panthers because nobody's giving these guys the contracts that they want. I'm assuming so why you're not seeing any of these dominoes fall.
Yeah, man, we appreciate everybody that is in the chat right now. You can find us on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Help support us in every medium that we're at. We're growing on Twitter, here on YouTube. over 5,000 subscribers as we head into our 11th season as a podcast. We are slow and steady wins the race, but you can help us continue to grow one of the strongest fan communities on the internet, the C3 community right here, by just being a Panthers fan. Why don't you consider being a C3 super fan for just $1.99 a month? You can help us continue to reinvest in the podcast as we get ready for our big draft party. Also, there are other ways to support the show, like a direct donation from Roosevelt Mungo, $5. He says the old Marty Hurney days of sitting on the sidelines are gone, and we're in the draft.
Yeah, baby. Let's go.
Incredible stuff there, and you can find us like in other ways, Cash App, Patreon. We don't really like to ask for money, but we do want to continue to grow this podcast and continue to bring you cool stuff like the C3 shirts that we do, the Cam Wows we've done in the past. And man, we've got a great addition, or not a great addition, a great component of our broadcast team that is always on the creative side. Greg, the Bat Daddy, the Stat Daddy, is in the house. Welcome back. Man, free agency is upon us.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, I've been a Panthers fan since day one, but I can't remember being this excited right now for the Carolina Panthers. The future looks so bright. Like, there are still holes to fill. There's a lot of things to be done. But, man, we are looking really, really good. This is how a rebuild should go right here. I feel very confident moving forward in what the Carolina Panthers are going to do and the future of the franchise. And I don't know, man. It's so refreshing to go into this season. Like, I feel like I've kind of been tricking myself into being confident in the last few seasons, you know? But I feel like this season, it feels really good moving forward. We were building a cornerstone for this franchise, or it feels like it, or we had the opportunity to. And I'm just excited to talk Carolina Panthers football, man. I want to see some free agency signings. I can almost guarantee we're not done with this draft. There's going to be more movement in this draft from the Carolina Panthers.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
not the number one pick, but we're going to be trading something in the draft.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get a big-time receiver. Not the best receiver class in this NFL draft, but we'll have plenty to talk about that. Like you said, just to pivot off of what you were saying, Greg, it's almost like for the last couple of years we've been in an abusive relationship, a score, like, or maybe not. One is that it's like, all right, we really want this to work. We want to hope the best in the person we love. We're going to take them back. We're going to give them the opportunity, but we know that scorned lover is going to fail us again. And we got the divorce, and we walk out right now, and we just feel like a fresh start. It's like, oh my gosh, it's just like a new, fresh pair of threads or something. Coaching staff, a GM that seems to be unhandcuffed or freed from his prison. All of this is going. And then the Panthers get on to free agency, guys, today. Let's start with the first signing. Don't be shy. Don't be Shy Tuttle. This is where I always remember as I look through every free agent signing throughout the league today. No matter how much I watch football and how much I follow these teams, I don't know half of these mugs. Shy Tuttle, I was like, who the hell is this dude? Right? Is like, and then you're going through, I'll pull it up in just a second. Shy Tuttle, though, was the first signing. Next announced Vonn Bell, too. So 2 signings straight to the defense. We're looking at the wrong thing here, Cody. 2 signings to the defense, and I thought this was interesting right here, is that the Panthers made a big move just a couple of days ago and jumping and leapfrogging to the number 1 position in the NFL draft. But then you start to wonder, like, where is the feel of this free agent or this team going to be? And right away, they invested in this defense. They know they're transitioning to a 3-4 defense. They believe probably they have some good tools in the toolbox, some talent there. But I like the idea that just prioritizing the defense and not just going, oh, well, we were the number 2 defense in the league under Matt Rule or something. Knowing, and neither of these broke the bank either. So Shy Tuttle is known for one play, I found out, and that is it. The one play intercepted Matt Ryan and then mashed him into the ground. I saw salesmen say, this is the most beautiful thing I've seen in life other than the birth of my 2 boys.
Look, man, it seems as though right now Shy Tuttle is going to be a defensive end in the 3-4 defense. So basically, he'll be playing that 5-tech edge on the end of the line. And yeah, he's definitely known for stiff arming Matt Ryan into oblivion. I mean, this is it's a solid pickup. He's not like the splashy pick that everybody was hoping to see earlier in free agency, but it's just a good pick, man. He's a strong guy. He sets a physical edge in a 3-4 defense.
I think he's only 27, maybe. He's
Yeah,
not
he's
old.
young.
I just
But-
like that we didn't just go get a name that was 32 just because we know the name.
Yeah.
You want to hear what Bob Rose, our friend of our show, said about
Do
Shy? Immediately, I messaged him. I said, "What's the script on Tuttle?" He says, "Can be terrific against the run, decent push, doesn't get moved off the point of attack easily. Last year, not so much. Expect absolutely nothing as a pass rusher, though. At best, he might be able to tie up blockers to free up Derek Brown." I sent him a return message. I said, "How do you think he'll perform in a 3-4? Said he'll have to play with some better leverage, but has the frame to be a decent nose tackle."
Yeah, he only had 2 sacks last year for the New Orleans Saints. He's definitely not a pass rusher. I mean, he's another big, strong guy, but I really do think that Derek Brown, they might consider him in more of a pass rusher kind of role this year and have a guy like Tuttle be the space eater. It seems as though now our defensive line has more versatility because of this Shy Tuttle pick. And I like it, dude. And he's from the Carolinas. He already has ties here. So, this is another homecoming for another Carolina Panther.
Yeah, I reached out to another friend of ours, Alan Ulrich, which I don't want to get us demonetized on this right away, so I'm not going to play the clip. He said you got to watch that play, the Ryan play. He said the German radio call is the best way. Here, let's see if we can just hear it, because I got it hooked up to my phone. Let's see. And then I'll read you his description. Hold on. He said this about him. He said, "A good role player at stuffing the run, the more snaps he takes in game, you start to see him get tired and sloppy." Let me see. Are we connected here? Okay. Well, actually, what do you think this tells us about the move to what we're trying to do?
Well,
Like,
I mean, if we're just talking about Shy Tuttle being more physical on the defensive line, I've long said that we need someone else to complement Derek Brown. And I think that this is someone that will allow Derek Brown to kind of open up and be more of a pass rusher.
All
Okay.
right.
Da übernommen hat, auch
Here is the play.
einen super
in
guten Job macht.
German.
Er war der Headcoach bei den Raiders damals. Da sah es nicht so gut aus als Headcoach. Oh, Interception! Interception! Matt Ryan! Oh mein Gott! Wie eine Puppe gibt er ihn den Stiffarm und er fliegt auf den Boden. Hör doch mal auf.
All right.
That's pretty damn cool, man. Greg,
I'll drop the link in the chat so people can watch
yeah,
it.
CK, Greg, tell me your thoughts on Shy Tuttle, and then we will move on to the next free agent signing.
You go ahead, Greg.
To be honest with you, I don't know a lot about Shy Tuttle. like Tony was saying, it's just not a name that pops out for me. But if we can shore up the interior of this defensive line and really get that push, then I'm all for that. Even if it's just depth, it's something we need.
Yeah.
I mean, our defense is already pretty good. So if this is good, more is better, right? Is that something like that? All the pieces are there.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't
agree.
think
I
we'll
think-
get. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. I was thinking, with this, it wasn't a sexy pick. It wasn't one that is breaking the bank either. I think this is honestly, as we've talked about ad nauseum at this point in time, or not ad nauseum, but at least a few times on this show already. It's just going to open up the Derek Brown to be able to actually be what he be the best he possibly can be at getting up the field. He's not going to be held hostage at that nose tackle position, which and a 3-4 feels like it's a pretty difficult position to play. You're really just there to eat up space, and I think Derek Brown deserves more than just to eat up space. So I think this will be a good signing for him. And like we said, Brian Burns, I think it could be nice to see that. I think it's going to be an interesting signing, because if Derek Brown can actually thrive as a pass rusher, it's going to allow for Brian Burns to really switch sides pretty frequently. I think he's going to be a lot more dynamic with the guy opposite of him. I'm hoping our days in the free agent market or in the draft aren't ending at the defensive end, because Yetur Gross-Matos just hasn't done it for me up to this point. And he's the guy opposite of Brian Burns right now, who would be the other defensive end or alternate, opposite of him. So it'll be interesting to see how they proceed tomorrow and the following day. But as of right now, man, it's a decent signing. It's one that's got me feeling like, they know what they have a plan and they're executing it.
And boys, this is my favorite free agent signing thus far. We're going to talk about Bozeman, dude, and everyone's so happy to have Bozeman back. But Vonn Bell, now a Carolina Panther, gets the opportunity to make the Bash Brothers 2.0 with Jeremy Chin. I know Jeremy Chin.
Xavier Woods, too. He's going to really be back there with Xavier Woods, we're guessing, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, it depends on what we do with Jeremy Chin, but as of right now, he's listed as a safety, so I'll count him as such. But Vonn Bell, former New Orleans Saint, it's another Saint player, agreed to terms with Vonn Bell. Vonn Bell gets a 3-year, $22.5 million deal, $13 million guaranteed. And this man is a hitter. This man will put the boom on folks. And that's what we want here in Carolina, to have that vaunted, feared defense again. And now, I mean, you can make the argument that we have the pieces to have one of the best defensive backfields that the Panthers have ever had, man. Dante Jackson's coming back. J.C. Horn as a first-round pick. Jeremy Chin.
C3 Henderson. I mean,
whatever. Dude, now you're not killing my vibe tonight, Tony Dunn. This is a fantastic fucking signing. We have a bunch of young, talented dudes. And now that we have an actual set of coaches that can really get the best out of these dudes, man, I'm pumped. I think this is a great signing. He was a great player for the Cincinnati Bengals as well.
This was Bob also, because Vonn Bell was a safety for the Saints previously too. Before he was with the Bengals, he said, first he messaged me about Vonn Bell, and he said, y'all are getting a great one in Vonn. And he said, I asked this, mainly a strong safety, right? He said, mainly solid awareness in 2 deep coverage, reliable in slot coverage, excellent in the box against the run or as a blitzer. And you know that Ejiro Evero's system really has a lot to do with having a feisty secondary, it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, if you go and look at what they were able to do while he was in with the Rams and the Jalen Ramsey group, but then what they did amidst losing Bradley Chubb, Von Miller. They didn't have Von Miller last year. They had Bradley Chubb, and they were really a sharp defense, and they did that a lot with kind of that smart linebacker cornerback play. And I think that there's kind of talent all around in that secondary now, like you were saying.
He had 4 interceptions in 2022. I mean, one of the main criticisms that we had was that Xavier Woods couldn't catch anything, man. So many drops. And I mean, listen, I don't know what the future is for Xavier Woods, but to me, I mean, when you're signing Vonn Bell to a 3-year deal, this tells me that they want him to be a part of our defensive identity on what we do going forward. He's a big-time hitter. He's a ball hawk. He's done nothing but impress since he's been in the NFL, and I'm loving this free agent signing, man.
Let's keep going, rocking and rolling through free agency recap for the Carolina Panthers. Legal tampering open today, and there was a lot of news. Bradley Bozeman, looks like this. This is, I don't know anything about this tweet here, about this tweeter, but this is the first one that I've seen that has a dollar amount. says, have Panthers have a deal with center Bradley Bozeman to keep him here on a 3-year, $18 million deal? If that's true,
It is.
that's a steal.
It is. It's only $6 million a year. Go ahead, CK.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it's real. And listen here, I'm happy as a Panthers fan because it leaves us not reeling from signing him to a long-term deal, if you will, right? However, I also feel bad because the center market has tanked this offseason. And he was the product of that last season as well. Like he got a 1-year deal. It wasn't worth a tremendous amount of money last year. And he played extremely well, probably a top 10 center in the league. And he's only getting $6 million per year. Like it's not a great situation to be in, especially for a guy who is an anchor on this offensive line. I mean, I'm happy to have him here. I feel like it's great for Scott Fitterer. I don't know that we can give this all to Scott Fitterer that his contract is that low. I think it has a lot more to do with the fact the market wasn't really allowing for there to be a lot of competition for the offer that we made to him. And so at the end of the day, he had to really weigh the pros and the cons. And at this point in time, I think staying in Charlotte, not moving his family around in one season after moving already from Baltimore, I think is going to be best. And he's not that far away from his home in Tennessee, I think this is a great signing.
Can we be real for a minute? If you were following this all day, dude, we started to get fucking nervous, man. Like it was so long. Like
I was working on a blog post, dude. I was working on a blog post about this.
Panther Nation was collectively wondering, dude, what is going on? Why is it taking so long to sign Bradley Bozeman? It didn't make sense. We knew that the Panthers had extended an offer to him, but we just hadn't heard anything until like literally about 30 or 40 minutes before going live here. And dude, I had a pit in my stomach. Like,
right. Look, this was the story I was working on, dude. Panthers' initial free agent acquisitions don't include Bradley Bozeman or Dante Foreman. And I I was just getting done with it, kind of getting to the point where, and then it was like the news came up. I was like, man, I'm glad I looked at you.
Oh man, so as a Panther fandom, we all collectively just breathed a sigh of relief, because also something important to remember is that Austin Corbett tore his ACL in the final game of the season, so he's probably not going to be a day one starter. Brady Christensen had a high ankle sprain. So, I mean, we don't know who the left and right guard at the start of the season is going to be. If we would have lost Bradley Bozeman, that would be us starting the season potentially without all three of our interior offensive line players from last year.
Yeah, there's not wise.
No way that could have been okay.
I'm also I'm getting to the point where I'm not irritated with fans being fans, but everybody just assuming our offensive line is fixed after last year. Is that it's just because it was better than we've ever seen last year does not mean that we should be done improving that group. What injuries can do to that group? They're already some of them injured and dealing with injuries. They can't. It just doesn't replicate from year to year. So I just want to caution people, or at least is try to bring back some reality. Is like the offensive line is never fixed. It's just better than it was.
Well, listen to Tony being the wet blanket here instead of me. How crazy is that? Like, I agree with you. It's not fixed, but man, from the improvement we've had based on what I've seen in years, I can't by any means look down on what this offensive line has done. Now, if we can continue to do this performance, it'd be fantastic. And I think that this Bradley Bozeman signing is that anchor you need right there.
Yeah, it's a start.
A steal too. It's just, I'm thrilled for it. I understand what you're saying, but for once, I think I don't want to. I don't know.
No,
man.
it's good.
It's good.
I'm just saying this is that Corbett. Look, it's just that the line when we were in 2015. The thing is, we had a line that was much like last year's. It was better than we were accustomed to seeing in Carolina. And the thing is they stayed relatively healthy all season. You had Aquanu healthy last year. You had Brady Christensen healthy for the most part last year. Taylor Moton healthy. Also, and So I look, I think those are all good. We can see what a good offensive line does for a team.
Right.
Because we've seen what it doesn't, what a bad one does. I'm just saying this is like, let's just not trot those 5 guys out there and say everything's going to be okay. Be ready for be ready to get better each year at every position, and also add horses to the stable because nothing goes as planned. I do want to put this out there because I am, I paid to re-up the website in November. Every November I get a cold dose of reality of how much it costs me to run the CarolinaCatChronicles.com, which I've neglected for a large part. I am committed to re-getting this thing up. And I think we have the fan base now to do what I really envisioned this to be. If anybody's interested in writing and the whole goal is I want, just like this podcast to be, we're not journalists, we're football fans. I want it to be a fan website about the Carolina Panthers. If anybody is interested in writing or contributing, I'm open to it. I want to just open the floodgates and make it something that we could all work together on. You guys let me know. You can find me on Twitter at @cat_chronicles. You can email me at carolinacatchronicles@gmail.com. And Cody, there's 267 people watching.
Oh, yeah, there is. Yeah, man. Listen, if you know anything about the C3 Panther Nation, we love talking Panther football, but we also have some guilty pleasures around here. And one of those guilty pleasures, oh, yeah, baby, it involves getting shamed by the voice that makes the moist. Codizzle Allen, talk to these freak shows.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want to say thank you for tuning in on a random Monday to talk about free agency frenzy. The Carolina Panthers, for the most part, got better today. And you saw C3 went live and you said, let me watch these guys. Let me go see what they have going on. And you haven't hit that like button yet? We've been sitting here talking for the past 30 minutes and you haven't said, here, let me do something free to help these fellas out. Well, I have one thing to say to all you absolute freaks. Subscriber shame.
269 people, 93 likes. Hit those likes, hit that subscribe, hit the notification bell every single time the C3 Panthers podcast goes live. Hey, man, we don't take any time off. There is no off season for the C3 Panthers podcast, man. Help the channel grow. Help us be seen by Panther fans everywhere. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. Donation, white chocolate espresso with the $4.99 says, I don't know what I'm more excited about, Panthers or the Charleston Cougars at March Madness. White chocolate is famous. He's on the news. He's being interviewed by reporters. He's a big time fan, you know.
What a great answer, by the way. If you see his tweet, he's first decked out. He's got the basketball jersey on, which I love. This is because my alma mater is far bigger than the college that he was cheering for. But I've seen programs that basketball programs was struggling following before. Let's just put it that way. And he had the jersey on. They're asking, they said, so when did you become a fan of this team? He said, I think it was today or something like today, like right now, baby. I'm in this. Well, you are on the ground floor, folks. Kev, you're on the ground floor. There's only one way, and it's up. Those Cougars look mighty young, though. I will say that. Those Charleston Cougars.
Look at this man. He was on the news. He was literally on the news. He's a real man.
It's awesome. Ground floor right there. Ground floor. You know what? Let's open up the phone lines for a second. I just got a call in momentarily again. So let's take some calls at 252-228-5098. Tell us what you think about the Carolina Panthers' first foray into free agency when it comes to these defensive acquisitions, the signing of Bradley Bozeman, and really the fleecing of the rest of the league. If Jimmy Garoppolo's numbers are giant, Sam Darnold is now going to go to the one person that might actually make him good with Kyle Shanahan. Holy cow. free agency, the NFL. It's so much fun. Let's take some calls, Cody.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
Tony, Cody, CK, and the Back Daddy, Redneck, Chippendales, Boys Hoy. Tell me, guys.
Yeah.
I want to hear from each of you. Who would you choose with the first overall pick, and tell me why? And also, what did you think of the NFL doing flag football? See, and I was reading somewhere that the NFL is secretly experimenting with doing more flag football youth leagues, and to someday transition to flag football because football is too physical and too tough for the players. I mean, we already have the officials way too involved in these games. And if the NFL was ever to move to flag football, would you guys quit football? Because I know sure as hell I would. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Bye-bye.
Yeah, if it was the official NFL, dude, I need violence, man. I'm a Neanderthal. I make no apologies about it. I want to see dudes lay the boom on one another. Dude, I'm all for the violence, man. There's no way.
It's not even that. It's, are you going to pay somebody $230 million guaranteed to play
Yeah, to
fucking
play
flag
flag
football?
This is not.
They can
That's
play
not what
flag
it's-
football. Like, let's do this. I'm down.
I don't believe
No,
by
I
any
wouldn't do it.
means that I don't believe that the NFL wants to transition to that in the future. I think what this is that you have such an important product. You need the best athletes in the world coming to play your sport. And as more and more we kind of become aware of life and the long-term effects, we become more informed on things. It's like, how do you teach kids how to play football?
Yeah.
But not have them wrecking each other when they're young. And you know what?
Yeah.
To be honest, it could make arguably better football players in the long run because you're developing.
Sure.
Yeah, well, you're developing all these more skill sets. Yeah, as you go along, and then when it becomes time to, how many of those young games do you watch just big people win?
Oh,
You know,
for
it's
sure.
just like
But
just
again,
size
that's why
and
people
might.
love-
But here, but you know, I understand that. But like here is, there's a reason that every player in the NFL who is good was a quarterback for their little league team. It's just like, just give the ball to him. It's it's such a simplified version of football. Are you really teaching the game?
Right.
And the nuances it to the children, or are you just teaching them to roll over their enemy? And as they get bigger and become more adult and more aware of their decision making as a young adult, high school, college, NFL, they can take on the risk of playing that sport more independently than putting a 6-year-old out there and saying, put your head down and go beat that dude up who's 2 times your size.
For younger kids and for the Pro Bowl, yeah, I'm all into it, man. Sure, if it's safer and it makes for a funner game. But listen, I want to talk real quick. He mentioned who we all want at number 1. And listen, let's be very real. We have a lot of time to talk about this. This is an evolving question. Like, this is the great debate, but potentially one of the all-time greatest debates in Panthers history. I mean, this is a selection that is going to define the next decade for the Carolina Panthers in who we pick. Either Bryce Young from Alabama or CJ Stroud from Ohio State. And this is a big-time decision. And, I mean, fans have been kind of debating this back and forth. There's a sentiment that as long as we come away with one of them, we're doing pretty damn good, because both of these guys are very highly touted, very highly evaluated. But, man, there's so much to break down between these two guys. This is going to be this is literally going to define the career of Scott Fitterer and just about everyone else in that front office right now. That's how big time this is.
Yeah, I would say right now, the thing that I'm worried about most is the last time we had the number 1 overall pick, we earned it first and foremost. I want to make that clear. And we decided to go with Cam Newton. What was it? The alternative people were saying was Blaine Gabbert, or who was it that was in that draft class that was saying, was it Blaine? that they were saying like should be the number 1 overall pick. And there's a concern that I have when you look at the history of the number 1 overall pick, and there's almost like a 50-50 shot that this dude is going to be a star or he's going to be a bust. And I'm just hoping to God we get the Cam Newton of that options, right? Of those those question marks around whether they're going to be a good quarterback or a franchise quarterback, or really just a backup for the rest of their career. I'm just hoping we're on the Cam Newton side of that coin flip.
I think that's an excellent point, CK. And you're right. The odds are exactly 50-50 superstar or bust, because at the number 1 pick, you get that is what the level of assessment, that is what you expect, the expectation for the number 1 pick is. If you're the number 22 pick overall and you turn out to have a pretty good career, you don't have that that expectation. I think Jared Goff's a great example of this. A couple of those quarterbacks that you probably are classifying as busts, and when you look at those first pick, Goff, who's the one, Baker Mayfield, you can put up there,
who might be a buck.
Who else? That list that they put up today, and it was about like there were about half and half, and I think saying half were great was generous too. You know what I'm saying? And Trevor Lawrence, who else?
Yeah. Joe Burrow was the number 1. Kyler Murray was the number 1. Baker Mayfield went number 1. Jared Goff went number 1. There have been a bunch of number 1 picks at quarterback right now, but also, there's this sentiment. I want to make sure I really hammer home how important this decision is, because, and this is before my time as a football fan, but there was a draft with Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf. And before that draft, everybody was like, oh man, Ryan Leaf has the big time arm. Maybe he has more upside. Maybe he has more potential long-term in the NFL. And dude, one of them ends up being a Hall of Famer, and Ryan Leaf goes on to be one of the biggest busts in NFL history. So if you're the Panthers sitting at number 1 right now, as fans, we might be able to look at the film and the highlights and say, oh, okay, either CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. But jobs are on the line, man. And if the Panthers get this decision wrong after giving up all that draft capital to go to number 1 overall, and they pick the wrong guy, dude, that's a stain on the history of the Carolina Panthers that is not going to wash away very easily. No. So in the coming months, we're really going to have to break down a lot of different questions. Are you comfortable with the type of quarterback that Bryce Young is, being so cerebral pre and post snap that you're going to draft him and be your franchise quarterback, even though he's probably 200 pounds max, soaking wet? Are you comfortable enough with that kind of a player? CJ Stroud, they took a lot of time behind that Ohio State offense for the coaches to be able to get the play in. So the NFL speed is going to take some time for CJ Stroud to pick up. There's lots of questions that are pertinent to this discussion that are being had right now amongst the Carolina Panthers.
This is where I'm just going to flip, flop, and waver every which argument is made for me. Though Cody mentioned the Peyton Manning, Ryan Leaf. There could be a scenario, hopefully, where both 2 quarterbacks could be good in one draft. So that is it doesn't have to be either or, but you're right. The gravity of the situation is very big. I mean, the stakes are very high because getting it wrong just continues to set you back into a spiral, because you can't just give up after year 1. Generally, you don't, unless you're the Arizona Cardinals, and they're still spinning tires right now, you could say. I think the way when it comes to Bryce Young, and I don't want to I want to turn this over to Sam Darnold, 49ers, some other quarterback talk shortly.
A bunch of other news to get to.
Yeah. I wonder if this is like at some point is the it factor. How do you like monetize, not monetize that, quantify the it factor? Because that's what you're really going to have to say is like, this guy has something that just, it's not physical and not just mental. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of people can be smart. It's under the pressure, the moment, those types of things. Is that outweigh his size? And then you have to ask, does CJ Stroud have that it factor? And I tell you, boy, would this conversation be different had Ohio State found a way to beat Georgia.
It really might.
No.
It's like this would be game over. If he went on to win the national championship, it would be CJ Stroud.
100%. 100%. And can I just point out too, like when I look at this conversation and I think about this whole thing, I got to look at what we're pointing out as the two problems. Like with one, it's the size. With two, it's maybe what's as far as being the head. Okay, the psychological aspect of it. I can teach a player to play better, and he can develop into a better player. I can't make somebody grow. So when I look at those two problems, one is fixable, one is not. Now, it may not be a problem in the NFL, but if one is fixable and one is not, and there's a possibility of both of them happening, then maybe I want to go with the one that I could possibly fix. And that made also quarterbacks like these two guys generally getting picked number one are going to a team that is garbage. Carolina's not garbage.
Exactly.
We have a solid offensive line. We maybe need to get some receivers. I'm not, we have some holes to fill, but he's not going to a team. We're kind of in like year 3 of a rebuild and at the right point to pick up a rookie quarterback. Good defense, good offensive line. Like that's what you need for a rookie quarterback to succeed.
So good.
This is kind of the perfect situation in all honesty, because if you think about, and I know we don't want to get stuck on just the draft because this is about free agency today, but it is a great problem to have. I think this is almost, I know that costs a lot to do this, but to be the number 1 overall draft pick, like Greg says, you're a bad team. Like the Bears were they had so many holes to fill. They had so much cap space. The same with the Falcons, right? You have to be really bad in order to get a quarterback at the number 1 spot, right? Whereas we didn't have to be bad, right? We were a few games, we weren't great last year, but man, we have a lot of the pieces that we need to be a good team. And when you look at the defense, you've got Saints podcasts or people out there who are writing articles for the Saints saying the Panthers defense is going to be even more of a problem for them than they had been in the past 2 years, where we've held them to 11 points per game on average, right? And over the past 2 years, which is an incredible number. So now our defense is getting better. There's a lot of things that are positive about our team. To be picking number 1 and getting like this guy's, whoever we get, whether it's CJ, whether it's Bryce, or whether it's Anthony Richardson, they're coming into probably one of the best situations a number 1 draft pick could ever come into. And just based on the situation alone, it's an incredible situation to be in.
I want to go ahead and plug tomorrow night, 9 p.m., the C3 Panthers Podcast, the longest running Panthers podcast in our 11th season. Every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock, we chop up the latest Panthers news and opinions from the fan perspective. We'd love for you to be a part of the community. You can call into the show. We'll take some calls. If they come in right now at 252-228-5098, we'll play them. But the way that the Cat Calls line works is you can call at any time. You leave a message. We'll play it on the Tuesday night show. So tomorrow night, 9 p.m., we want to see you guys back here hanging out with us talking about this. We will be talking on tomorrow night's show about, is there anything to the story or the potential, or is there any potential to the Carolina Panthers actually moving out of the first round pick that they just acquired? That is the big storyline that's behind it, and really part of the Tuesday night show that we are so going to be focusing on as we continue to watch free agency unfold. Let's go to the quarterback situation here. We've been talking about who the Panthers are going to draft at quarterback, but now look at this, guys. We're learning more and more about what the room will look like by what it won't look like. Sam Darnold has signed with the San Francisco 49ers on a 1-year deal. And you know what? I'm happy for the guy.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm happy for him. And I tell you this is the one place you want to go if you're Sam Darnold. You know what? Sam Darnold may have gotten a little bit more mental toughness to him over the last year and a half in Carolina. He had to deal with a lot. I think that he acquitted himself very well at the back end of the season for what he could do. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, that's typical Sam Darnold, but the team wasn't necessarily great all around him. Kyle Shanahan is a guy, look, and he might actually freaking get an opportunity. Trey Lance, nobody knows what he was going to be before he got hurt, really. Now he's only coming off a very serious ankle injury. Brock Purdy, his arm has to work. He just got Tommy John surgery.
Yep.
You might be looking at damn Sam Darnold on the
week
damn
one.
San Francisco 49ers with Christian McCaffrey.
Week one, dude. And honestly, I think that this could be a big deal for him because if he can go there and even catch a spark of what he did the last half of the season with us, like the dude could go out there and actually prove that he could be a starter again. I don't know that Lance would be able to beat him in camp. Based on what we saw last year, Trey Lance was not the guy. Like, I know he only had a few games under center, but the dude sat for a year to be able to develop into a good quarterback. And he did not show any signs of a guy who had a year of learning the NFL systems or anything like that. So Sam Darnold could go in there and win that battle and start week one. And it's a big time deal for him. If he can take that team and actually have them winning early on, I think it's an interesting situation to be in for him.
Here's an interesting question that we need to ask 49er fans and probably have a writer come on and talk about this. Has Kyle Shanahan ever not gotten a quarterback to work? He was an offensive quarterback. I mean, at his time in Cleveland, look, is like he was with Johnny Manziel. And to be honest, Johnny Manziel wasn't just terrible on the football field. That wasn't necessarily what it was. It was the whole Johnny Manziel saga that was a big deal. I wonder who his quarterbacks think. Matt Ryan got him to work. Jimmy G's got him to work. Brock Purdy got him to work. Got Kirk Cousins to work. Got RG3, I think. Yeah. I think he's with RG3.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
That's a good list. Mm-hmm. And so listen, for that same point that you just made,
he didn't get Blaine Gabbert to work, by the way.
Who was that?
I mean, you can't get blood from a turnip.
That was the 49ers. That was his first year with the I believe so.
Was that the start of the whole season?
But listen, I'll say this. I mean, I don't think that the 49ers should give up on Trey Lance. I think they should still give him an opportunity to see what he's got. But dude, listen, just to keep it on Sam, it's so easy for fans to shit on Sam Darnold. You know, he's had a lot of down play in his entire career, but you can make the point that Sam Darnold went through some of the worst coaching scenarios that you could ever go into coming into the NFL, with Ryan Gase up there in New York. Then he comes here for the final days of Fat Mule's idiot ass. I know. Ruining the Carolina Panthers. You know, Sam Darnold got us off to a very hot start last season. And then I don't care what anyone says, at the end of this past 2022 season, Sam Darnold played the best damn football of his entire career. He made some incredible throws down the stretch to DJ Moore, Terrace Marshall. He took care of the football. You know, it's easy to kind of clown on this guy, but he's really had a rough road into the NFL. And at the end of the season, he had us feeling like we might be able to sneak into the NFC South. So I'm happy for Sam. He's reuniting with Christian McCaffrey over there in San Francisco. I'm pumped for him. And I'm just, hoping that he continues to get an opportunity to show his thing. I'm thankful for services rendered. How about that?
Yeah. All right. Let's take another call.
What is up, C3? It is Anthony from Charlotte. Just wanted to call in quickly. I know y'all have a show tomorrow, but quick shout out to Greg for helping me make my intro that he's working on right now. And secondly, these signings are awesome. I don't care what anyone has to say about them. I'm actually watching the stream right now, but I had to call in. Vonn Bell, Bradley Bozeman, and Shy Tuttle, all great signings. Scott Fitter at the Laser Eyes, and tomorrow I will be giving my secret opinion on who I think the quarterback is for this team with the number one pick. Keep motherfucking pounding, C3.
All right, man. We appreciate it, man. Anthony from Charlotte. Let's go through with another call.
Yo, Zesty out from Utah. Yo, guys, let's fucking go. Looking good so far. I mean, Bozeman by far the best signing of the day. All of our starters return. Let's just hope that Corbett and Christian's going to come back healthy. They should be good to go. If we got a little bit of depth, but happy about the Bozeman signing. Tuttle signing, he's a saint, but goddamn, I mean, he's a big boy, at nose. And then we need that D-Hop. We need that D-Hop trade because we need a receiver bad. We're feeling to be pretty sick, just someone. And don't forget, boys, Dalton Kincaid. Keep pounding. Let's fucking go.
Keep pounding.
Great call.
Can I ask real quick? Like, I agree. I would love to get DeAndre Hopkins, but what do we trade for him? Like what can we possibly give up for DeAndre Hopkins right now?
Yeah, it's probably an Amari Cooper type trade.
Well, Jalen Ramsey just got traded from the Rams to the Dolphins for a 3rd-round pick and something else, but it was not a lot. Yeah, and a tight end. Dude, you're telling me that we can't get DeAndre Hopkins for a 3rd or 4th-round pick? I'm pretty sure we have 2 of those anyway.
Would you give up a 2nd round for him? 39. Would you give up for him?
See, I think that's getting
too rich, and I don't think that's reasonable at this point.
I think, though, what you have to think about, Greg, though, is it's not really trading for us, it's getting DeAndre Hopkins. For the team, that they're going to have to release him at some point. Like, they just can't pay that. So it's whatever team does trade for him is just agreeing to be able to pay whatever he's left on his deal. Like, they can afford it, and they will allocate that in their time of so that's why I think the pick, when CK mentioned kind of like an Amari Cooper deal, is like sometimes these are more like, hey, we'll buy some of that debt off of you with a draft pick.
Right. It's gonna, I think that especially with this age, when you see what he went for, Amari Cooper, meaning I think what he went for a 5th round to the Browns or something like that. It was something crazy, right? And he's younger than DeAndre Hopkins, if I'm not mistaken. So you're not dealing with a guy who's a super young guy. So I think Hopkins is going to cost a little bit more than what Amari Cooper did, but I do think that it's going to be it's not going to be a 2nd. I think a 3rd is probably the sweet spot. Maybe a 3rd and like a 6th round or something like that. It might be 2 picks that are going to be later round picks or something, but I could see that being the case.
Do y'all think we're in the running? Do you think
no?
Okay.
I want this to be, but I don't think so.
All right, we're going to go.
It's hard to say because then you're depending upon your draft to be able to add more weapons. And I think if
Aren't
you're
you doing that anyway?
But listen,
you can't expect them to be starters, dude. You can't go in. You can't draft and
that's
count
what I'm
on them.
saying. So how are we going to get rid of DJ Moore, by far our number one?
We're going to get somebody. We're going to get somebody.
DJ Chark sounds good.
Dude, listen, like it's one of the things that we hated with Cam Newton, that we didn't put an abundance of talent around Cam while we had him on a rookie contract. So if we're going to get Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, it is incumbent upon the Panthers to get an exterior threat at wide receiver for their young quarterback.
We will, but you're not going to.
We must have it.
Yeah, but you don't have to have the guy on day one. Right. So the Panthers are going to be able to bridge that. And it's a lot easier. And I know that when people hear me say this, they're going to say, this is ridiculous. The wide receivers are not as expensive as you think. The top 15 wide receivers in the league are expensive as shit. Right. The next crop is expensive, but there are a lot of guys out there who are productive and good, savvy receivers late into their career that don't take a lot of money. So that could get us by as you're grooming the rookie and the next big star. We don't have to get an Odell Beckham Jr. We don't not to get DeAndre Hopkins, but a guy that's equivalent to, what was his name? Marvin, not Marvin. He was in Detroit for a couple of years, and then he's been with the Jags the last couple of years. Marvin Jones.
Yeah.
Right. Like some players like that. Think of what Cotry was late in his career. Yeah. Think of, there's guys like Brandon Cooks floating around there that aren't giant, that don't come with the money that DeAndre Hopkins
guy though, man.
Here's my only problem, and here's why I agree with Cody on this. Patrick Mahomes became a superstar because he had guys like Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, right? Josh Allen became a star because he had guys like Stephon Diggs. You have Justin Herbert became a guy because he has guys like Keenan Allen, right? Like they have guys. When they're talking about superstars in this league, let's talk about Burrow. He didn't come on until who came on his team? Jamar Chase. Like, I'm not saying he wouldn't have done good, but I'm saying like you need a guy.
You need talent. You need talent for them.
A guy.
I'm just saying you don't have to get it before
separation on their own.
All right. Look, we're moving on to the next call. But Cody, all I mean is this, is that if that person is not the guy that you envision, whoever the name that is going to fill that void for you is not filled by April or even the beginning of the season, I wouldn't say that we haven't done it yet. Maybe it's the next year as part of the plan. I just don't think if we don't do it by next week, don't freak out, folks. If we don't go get a whatever, Odell
listen,
Beckham.
like Panther Pickle said in the chat, it's only day one of tampering period.
Yeah,
we still have time. Listen, man. And by the way, shout out to AVI_Mike on Twitter for the fire Scott Fitterer edits that I've been using for our thumbnails. He's great on Twitter. Check him out. I had to make sure that I mentioned that and give credit where credit's due. But so we need to give some credit to Fitterer. Give this man some time to cook. He's been doing nothing but a fantastic job thus far. I think that we need to, give him the benefit of the doubt, trust him, and let that man work his magic.
Let's go. I think this is Panther Pickle.
Hey, I like all the signings. This is Panther Pickle, and I think we've done a really good job this year, this offseason of sorting through things. Now, some fans, though, are a little down. Folks, you got to remember, we started out today with $22.5 million available in salary cap. And what did we do? We spent it logically and correctly. Now, the Atlanta Falcons, as some folks are wanting the safety that the Falcons signed, the Falcons gave him the very first year, they gave him $23 million. We would have been under cap. Brandon Bozeman wouldn't be back. We wouldn't have got that other safety. We wouldn't have got the defensive lineman we got. None of that would have happened if we would have signed that one player. That's what you got to think about, that one player. Now, we need to smile a little bit, and we need to have faith, and we need to enjoy being a Panther fan. Stop always looking negative and looking down.
Tell them, Pickle.
Yeah.
You got to smile a little bit. Keep pounding, folks.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think he's talking about anyone specifically, but, we've been through a lot of bad in the past few years, and I think there's a tendency for people to want to look for the bad, like to kind of look for the downside. I mean, I just think right now there's an incredible energy and excitement running throughout Panther fandom that everyone's feeling, man. We have 322 people watching right now. People are excited about the Carolina Panthers. And instead of getting caught up on, we didn't get this player or that player, the Panthers are making moves. They know that their time to win the NFC South is right now. Have a little faith and keep pounding, baby. That's it.
All right, this next call is going to pair nicely with our next discussion. Cody, as we have, or has Pickle mentioned, this is the first day of legal tampering, right? And we are pumped. We're pumped about the news of the potential of getting a franchise quarterback. We like the kind of steady the course these opening selections or acquisitions were for the Carolina Panthers. And we're going to go through and look through what we believe could help this team going forward. Here, I think this call is going to take us right on that trail.
Hey, guys. This is Evan, and I just want to call you guys and say that I'm excited about the future, and I'm happy with the signings from today, Monday. And I'm hoping tomorrow and Tuesday we get a few more signings, and I'm really hoping we see something on if we're signing Dalton Schultz, Mike Gesicki, those two tight ends, or just a receiving tight end in general. I'm also hoping to hear some more news on any receivers that we might get, whether it's D-Hop, Hardman, DJ Chark. I mean, just any of those free agent guys or trading for somebody. And I'm also thinking right now, I'm fine if we draft Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. And I'm really hoping for CJ, but I'm fine with either one. But also, I think CJ is the better fit and the better one for us to go and get. And one more thing is I don't believe all those people that say we're getting fleeced or we got fleeced. I don't think we did. I don't think we gave up too much. I hate that we gave up DJ Moore, but I like the trade overall. But yeah, you guys all have a good night. Peace.
Good call, man. We appreciate it. I'm weird about like how we got fleeced in that trade. We'll talk more about that tomorrow night. That we're not thinking about. Look, the big free agents though available right now. Orlando Brown. This is kind of an odd storyline with him leaving, being traded from Baltimore, him playing so well, and he plays really well, but nobody wants to pay him keep him around.
Is it nobody wants to pay him, or is there something we don't know about him? Is the question.
He wanted to be paid like a left tackle. I think that's why they sent him away from Baltimore, and then the Chiefs just went out and paid somebody else in free agency.
Yeah, they
did.
And there's rumors that they're going to be trading for Tunzel as well.
Yeah. So,
and then we don't need another safety, right?
Yeah.
So CJ,
James Bradbury. Some people want that, but that's a little costly. I don't think it's a good fit.
And I just don't know that. I mean, I think he would be a great fit for this defense. And I think that would be a dream scenario to have him back in Panthers uniform. Unfortunately, I do not think that is a possibility with so many needs on offense right now.
I don't know how Odell would be with a rookie quarterback.
I don't know how Odell will be in a major hub city, to be truly honest with you. I don't know Odell. I just feel like the outcome or what the production you're going to get from him is less than what you're going to have to put up with.
Well, I mean, it depends on who you're able to surround him with. It would be difficult to sign him as a true number one wide receiver at this point in his career. I mean, he's getting closer to 30. I mean, the Rams had him in a really good situation because they were able to use him in the slot, kind of use him situationally in different downs.
Number one, yeah.
Yeah, and they weren't depending on Odell Beckham, force feeding him like the Giants and the Browns tried to do. So he would be a good complimentary signing. I mean, look, I'm not complaining if the Panthers sign either of those dudes.
Right.
Like I'm saying, we need to sign, in my opinion, a difference maker on the outside for the Panthers. If you want to give your rookie quarterback the most even playing field coming into the NFL, go all out and give him every single advantage that you could possibly give to him. If you don't want to trade for DeAndre Hopkins, then yeah, you should consider Odell Beckham Jr. And the Panthers were at a workout that Odell did recently. So I know he kind of carries that diva tag, and everyone thinks that he's a locker room cancer. A lot of people in our chat room right now think that. But, dude, I just don't think that we're in a position to be turning down talented wide receivers at a time when we need them more than
turning them down. I don't think he's gonna want to come here is kind of what
that's kind of my point. Yeah, it's not a big, because it's Charlotte. It's not New York. It's not Dallas.
You don't even have a quarterback now. You're not making the Super Bowl. He wants to go be a star somewhere.
Like nobody wants to go vacation in Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not a spot people want to go to visit. It's not a big wide receiver. And don't get me wrong, I love Charlotte. I want to retire there. And I'm not saying that OBJ is going to be a bad receiver if he comes in. If he came in and he did well for us, that's the difference. If he came in and did well for us and was like a top 5 receiver, top 10 receiver, like he wants to get paid then I would probably put up with more of the stuff that he does and probably look past it a little more.
This should not be a terrible pick right here.
What is that?
Nelson Aguilar?
No, he's
like he'd be a good vet president.
But he would be basically. Yeah, he would be basically like. I mean, we've just been recycling wide receivers like this our entire for the past 5 years.
Good comparison.
Like we've just been recycling those types of wide receivers for the past 5 years. He wouldn't be a number one. He wouldn't be a guy. Quite honestly, I don't know that he would be able to beat out Terrace Marshall Jr. for a number one role in this wide receiver core. I'd be more interested in some of the people that were up at the top. Edge, you have Jadeveon Clowney, you have Frank Clark. We saw that. There's some good defensive end and edge options down there, but I'm also interested in tight end. Dalton Schultz is still out there, but he's probably going to garner a bigger contract than we can afford right now, if I had to guess.
He's coming off injury though. Like
Dalton
he
Schultz?
missed half the season with an injury coming in.
Sure, but he
I
was
think
also
that
one of the more
DJ
consistent.
Shark would fit really well with what Frank
He
Wright
would.
likes to do.
And that would be a
I
fantastic
like
receiver for
I agree.
CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. He has that top end speed too. Another LSU guy to pair with Terrace Marshall, another LSU receiver.
I don't think the answer is Gesicki, though. I don't think it.
Well, why not? We need a tight end, dude. It's not
Well,
like
he can't block.
Ian Thomas is
Ian Thomas
ever
can
gonna is ever gonna be the answer. He
Okay.
offers nothing in the pass catching department as much as we've wanted him to. White Chocolate Espresso has been banging the table for Hayden Hurst. He played with the Bengals last year. He was drafted by the Ravens. In fact, I believe he went to the Falcons for a little while, ended up with the Bengals. I would love that. That would be a really good free agent signing, in my opinion.
Where's Jake Butt?
Again, we just need weapons.
Jake
man.
Butt
We
does
need
not.
weapons.
Did you say Jake Butt?
Jake Butt. Where's
Yeah,
Jake
he
Butt?
said Jake Butt.
He's not in the league anymore, I don't think.
By the
Bring him
way,
back.
Draymond Jones has already signed, or he's expected to sign with the Seattle Seahawks, so that's not an option there. Chuba Wubba.
I don't know. No, see that Jake Butt, that's all part of those tight ends that made
And
me
we've
take the
extended
position.
an offer to Deontay Foreman to come back with the Carolina Panthers. So an offer is out there for him.
Oh, I hope he takes it.
He just has to sign it, and we don't know what that number is going to be either. There were rumors that Austin Eckler, the running back for the Chargers, wants to be traded away from Los Angeles.
He's going to want a contract. It's just not worth it at this point.
There's a lot of big name running backs.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think Foreman has a good shot at coming back to the Carolinas, because when you look at this free agent, the free agents running backs right now.
Hunt?
I mean, you could go that route, but again, he's going to ask. You're going to be paying him like you're going to have to pay him like a starting running back in this league. And do we really want to go down that path again right this second, or do we want to go with Foreman, who's proved enough to be a guy in this league, but maybe not a top 15 guy, And so I think you need to go. I think Foreman is a great centerpiece, and he's going to be able to do enough to keep the pressure off of a young quarterback like CJ Stroud or Bryce Young.
I think Kareem Hunt could do both. It could be a good addition, but you're right. It comes down to the money and how much does Foreman want. Cody, do you have something to say before we go to the next call?
I mean, no, just looking at what we were able to do last year, Foreman was incredible for us. I'm a bigger fan of Chuba Hubbard than almost everyone else on this podcast.
Yeah, you are.
I like his potential.
He's a bomb, dude.
And we were able to break some records last year with this offensive line and these two running backs. So I hope that he signs it. I hope we don't break the bank, dude. The Panthers of all teams should know you do not break the bank for running backs.
I know Kareem Hunt is old too. If you think about it, like, you know what I'm saying, he's been in the league
really.
for
I
a
wouldn't
minute.
say he's old.
He was with the Chiefs for a few years.
Yeah,
then
he was with the
Browns.
Chiefs.
He's been in the league for like 6 years, man.
He was drafted the same year as
Mahomes. Yeah, I was gonna say Mahomes. Is not. He's not like it's not like an old. Is he getting up there for wide receivers? Sure, he's starting to come to that
running
point.
back.
For running back. I mean. But I think that Foreman is a better option right now. And we do have Chuba on the roster as well. So I know that those aren't upgrades from what we had last year, because it's the exact same running back room outside of CMC, but we're saving some money in the running back department. By the way, Draymond Jones or whatnot, his deal is ridiculous. 3 years, $51 million. The dude is getting. We weren't coming close to touching that. Sorry, guys. Anybody who wanted him to come to Carolina, we weren't even in the ballpark for a guy like that.
All right, let's go ahead and get to the next call.
Okay. Well, I'll say real quick before you do that, I just want everybody to know I'm running polls in the chat all night long, and all night long there's been landslides, everything I've done. And right now I'm asking who is the tight end you want to sign, Gesicki, Schultz, or Hurst. And it's like 33, 33, 33 right now. So this is a very divided opinion. Vote in the chat.
Keep us up to date on
polls.
keep us up to date on the polls, because I can't see them in the comment section here through StreamYard. Let's go to the next call.
Hey guys, it's the girl that makes him howl, aka Joey the Blind Panther. So happy to be doing this 2 nights in a row, ladies and gentlemen. And that's special. And my answer is yes, it is special, but not as special as the Carolina Panthers having the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, which literally happened as soon as I got home from work. And I had spent the better part of an hour and a half hitting on my paratransit driver, because we blind people do that from time to time.
I know what buses he rides.
So yeah, I get home doing that, about to go to dinner. I check the time on my phone, and what do I get? WSOC TV. Carolina Panthers trade for number 1 pick. Now, I don't like that we got rid of DJ Moore. I love DJ Moore. But then again, well, it's more so that I don't like that DJ Moore's gone. But I understand the thought process about that. You know, is DJ Moore going to want to stay? You know, I don't think he would want to stay, especially if we didn't have a quarterback. And him approaching is what, 25? Yeah, 25. You know, him approaching pretty big contract numbers, perhaps. He's almost going to be 30. Yeah, I think it sucks, but this is one of the things you have to do. Plus, the Bears really needed a wide receiver for Justin Fields. And this is great, man. This is so great. Free agency, you know, we got Bradley Bozeman. I don't think that was a hard decision for him to take. Of course he wanted to stay in Charlotte, and if he didn't, big girl Nikki was going to go down to a big boss man's courthouse and get her a divorce, I bet you, because she loved this place. But I'm super happy about the Panthers. I'm really excited, almost as if it were July right now, and it's only March. I got a long fucking way to go. Anyway, guys. Wow.
The DJ Moore thing is honestly going to be one of the great tragedies of the Carolina Panthers history, because we have been fighting tooth and nail to find a quarterback to throw the ball to him. And the only reason we're about to have one is because he's no longer here. And it's such a heartbreaking thought, because the dude has been here under so much scrutiny, under so much pressure to perform with these mediocre at best quarterbacks. And he's just taken it. He's even signed an extension with us in the midst of all of that. The dude is a champion, man. He deserves to have a quarterback who's going to be able to get the ball to him. It's such a tragedy that the dude was not able to stay here and experience what a good quarterback on the Carolina Panthers can do for him. It's just, man, it's tough. It makes you think. It makes you feel a little bit. It's similar to Cam, man. We never really gave him an opportunity to be the best version of himself outside of maybe 1 year, and that was just mainly Cam putting this team on his back and carrying them, right? So it wasn't even necessarily that we were giving Cam everything he needed. It was Cam just doing what Cam did in that moment in time, and now we're almost in the same boat with DJ.
While we're on the topic of DJ, and just want to remind you guys to check out CarolinaCatChronicles.com. I already had somebody message me interested in contributing. We're trying to, or at least it's just kind of a project that I started. This was the first thing we started, really. It was the website, the podcast all together back in 2013. And, we've invested so much energy in the podcast. It's been so wonderful. But it's just something I just want to, it's kind of like a legacy thing. I don't want to quit CarolinaCatChronicles.com. So I'm going to make it open for everybody. It's been open for everybody. I just got to push it. You guys, let's make this website what you guys the C3 Panthers community wants it to be. I put out this today, though, a fan's thank you to DJ Moore. And the reason I wanted to bring it up is two reasons that CK brought up is not the irony, but the connection of the storyline. In fact, it was my final thank you in this CK. Was my final thank you was for being the bright spot in the midst of darkness. But he may actually, you may actually be the part of the actual light at the end of the tunnel. DJ Moore, he came to play every week, but without a quarterback, that doesn't matter, right? Hopefully, we'll be thankful to DJ once more, though, because he might be the reason we get the quarterback, ironically, or interesting. But I wanted to continue with that, CK, is, every fan, DJ was a fan favorite. Let's just put him in the fan favorite category.
Yep.
He was a fan favorite, not because people just liked him, but he was a good player and people loved him. He joins the ranks of all the fan favorites. There's only like 3 or 4 fan favorite Panthers who played their entire career in Carolina. And if you think about this, is like, let's start with my first love, Julius Peppers. He didn't play his entire career in Carolina.
He left because they wouldn't pay him, right?
No,
he wanted to leave.
He wanted to go test the waters elsewhere.
And he knew that Carolina wasn't a great spot, it looked like. Steve Smith finished playing in Baltimore. Cam Newton went to New England. DJ Moore now joins the ranks to going to Chicago. I know the list. Chris Jenkins. Who was the fan favorite? There's only like 2 or 3. I expect CK to get it first. Who's the fan favorite that did play his entire career?
Thomas Davis? Or no, he went somewhere else. He went somewhere else. Luke. Did Dan Morgan? He never went somewhere else. He retired here, right?
Ooh, I don't know. I was gonna say Mike Mentor, I think, is one that
Musa
did
Muhammad?
it.
Yeah, Musa.
No, he played in Chicago.
Okay.
Even John Casey wasn't with us.
He went somewhere else. Yeah.
But I think Luke Kuechly and Luke Kuechly is the answer there. Here's my thank you.
Mike Rucker and Mike Mentor.
Yep. Here's my thank you list to who was the great corner, the best corner we had before JC Horn, the last not Godfrey.
Oh, Jordan Gross. There you go.
No, Jordan Gross. Who was the corner? We had a cornerback that was real good.
Gamble.
He was Gamble. I wonder if Gamble played for anybody else.
That's what I was thinking about. I couldn't recall. I was trying to think of somebody else, but I want to say one, but he didn't play his entire career here because we didn't exist here. But you got to put Sam Mills in that category.
Yeah, but he was the back end of his career here.
He played he played for the Carolina Panthers and coached for the Carolina Panthers for as long as we existed, for the most part.
Why do you keep taking my story down? I just wanted to show my thank you.
Well, show it. I thought you were done.
No, look, here is this. This is what was my thank you note to DJ Moore. Thank you for the greatest regular season catch in Panthers history. Right? I mean, is the greatest regular season catch, arguably the greatest catch in Panthers history, which then was negated, sadly, in winning the game because the helmet. He took the helmet off after the Hail Mary. The other thing is this. Thank you for 3 1,000-yard seasons in spite of having to play with Kyle Allen, Teddy Bridgewater, Sam Darnold, and friends. His productivity was incredible given the revolving door, right? Thank you for being better than Calvin Ridley. If you guys remember when we drafted DJ Moore, Calvin Ridley, we had the choice. And to be honest, though, is Calvin Ridley got a lot of damn touchdowns, though. I ain't gonna lie. But, and also, thank you for teaching Robbie Anderson about the team mascot. What's that bear doing? That's Sir Purr, DJ said. Well, now Anderson isn't with the team, and DJ is that bear. Thank you, DJ Moore. That's what I was saying. You like, this is, man, he didn't even read my stuff.
Dude, DJ Moore. So you know what's funny, and we're gonna have to think about this every time we see a Justin Fields to DJ Moore highlight, is that could have been in Carolina. We could have drafted Justin Fields and given him weapons of Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore. And that's a different timeline somewhere out in the Panthers multiverse. Kudos to those multiversal people who get to experience that. But one of the things that I've said is I genuinely believe that Justin Fields and DJ Moore have the potential to form an incredible bond and be one of the best wide receiver quarterback combos in the NFL. Like it takes those two guys coming together to be able to bring out the superstar potential in both of them. And I do hope for DJ's sake that he does get to do that. He barely ever got more than 4 touchdowns in a season, and it was never his fault. All those names that you and CK just mentioned that he had throwing him the football, dude, that's rough, and it's next to no consistency at all. And DJ just took it on the chin. He was consistent, over 1,000 yards receiving almost every year. I mean, shout out to DJ. We love him. We're going to miss him. Even his mama put out a farewell to the Panthers on Twitter. So that was really nice and really cool. But shout out to DJ, man. He's going to be missed there in Carolina, and we might have a hard time replacing his productivity.
All right, let's go to the next call.
What's up, C3 Panthers Kingdom Podcast? Leaving a message. Vonn Bell, man, that was a great signing. Bradley Bozeman is back, and I would also like to thank you guys for helping me make my channel. You're not literally making my channel, but you gave me the confidence, and that's all I have to say. I'm sorry about my rambling, but thank you guys for everything that you do in Panthers Nation, and see y'all C3 Friday free for all. Bye.
Keep pounding, baby. Tony, that was a part of the reason why I started the free for all, man. And letting people know, hey, to come on camera and talk about our favorite football team, the Carolina Panthers, it's not as hard as you think it is, man. Happy to inspire people to continue to make their own content. Anthony is getting ready to make his own channel. A lot of people have been getting their own equipment and doing their own thing. And like I always say, the rising tide lifts all boats, man. So Panther Nation, support Panther Nation, and hit that like button, hit that subscribe.
Don't let them think it's too easy, Cody.
Oh, yeah, right. It's not super easy, but it's fun to do,
the
man.
The hard part is just keep doing it. That's the hard part in life with anything, just keep doing it. So, Greg, you're on mute. So if you're talking to us, felt like he came in there saying, oh, maybe.
I was saying it's like an Iron Man suit. You always want to upgrade. There's always something you could tinker with. So just start small and upgrade.
Yeah. And my other piece of advice to people is start. It's like just start. I mean, if you wait till everything is perfect, it's never going to be right. That's what my dad told me when it asked. I was like, man, I don't know if we're ready to have kids. He said, if you wait till you're ready to have kids, you're never going to have kids. You know what I mean? It's just
I'll tell you this. I mean, Greg said we constantly have to upgrade. Man, when they offered me the job here and paid me $300,000 a year, I was like, I have to take it at that point in time, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was pushing for more. I wanted to get at least $500,000.
I tried to convince them to pay me less. So, I was like, you can't afford this.
You guys are swell guys.
I know. I'm sitting here hemorrhaging under my bad credit score. Let's go.
Yeah. So I think that we just shout out to C3 once and foremost. Thank y'all for what y'all do. Anyway, so I think we take Anthony Richardson. I think he just seems to be the fit, man. Will Levis is not the move. CJ Stroud's kind of short. I mean, both guys are kind of short. So, I don't know. We got the number 1 pick. We're going to make it happen.
we're going to keep on pounding. We're going to get a decent tight end and hopefully fill up these gaps in free agency. Thank you, C3, for all you do. Thank you.
Keep pounding, man.
Handle the truth. Holy cow, Anthony Richardson, is that the truth?
I put that vote in the chat earlier, and actually Anthony Richardson had like 5% votes. So, by the way, update: tight ends Gesicki, Schultz, Hurts. Gesicki's at 38%, Schultz is 40%, and Hurts is 23% with 176 votes.
Nice. And so, hey, real quick, 89J Stubbs with the 499 love bomb says, keep pounding. We need a defensive end or a wide receiver. And by the way, I wanted to put this out there. Panther Nation, be vigilant. This is smoke screen season. If you're gonna start believing everything that you hear, dude, I have some property on the other side of Jupiter to sell your ass. Dude, so we're already starting to hear rumors. Oh, Panthers coach Frank Reich loves Florida quarterback Anthony
This guy's
Richardson,
been putting out everything.
and may be their top pick, according to Peter King. Well, this is Peter King that's apparently saying this.
But the Cleveland guy is also pushing those tweets about us trading back.
I mean, look, let's talk about this.
No, but you know what I'm saying? No, I'm not saying that. I'm talking about the guy, that tweet you're showing. This guy is part of this smoke screen, is what I'm saying. He's not, this isn't just a one tweet he's put out there that is pushing this kind of narrative.
Well, the thing that I love, JJ Watt put a tweet out not too long ago, maybe last week, that said, if you're hearing rumors, it's because somebody wants you to hear them. Right? These things don't come out unless they are wanted to come out. When you hear Lamar Jackson turn down a certain contract, it's because the Baltimore Ravens want the public to know that they have offered him a ridiculously high contract that he's turned down. Right? It's not like they're not willing to pay him. They're willing to give him a contract that makes him an incredibly wealthy person. But they're putting out that information as a PR move for themselves, if not even a negotiation tactic, right? So we all know that when you hear something in the media that is a rumor, it is not a rumor that is out there for just the purpose of you knowing about it. It is a purpose behind it. It's a plant.
I want to know who this Kleeman guy works for. I want to know who Kleeman's guy is, though. He's one of the channels in this propaganda network we're watching. CK said something earlier, though, that made me feel uncomfortable.
Oh, God.
And that is when you were talking about the Blaine Gabbert and the Cam Newton stuff.
Yes.
I know Cam Newton was so successful. See, the thing is people tried to pitch Cam Newton as having so much risk to it. But he was so successful too in college. Like, I mean, so it wasn't like he was just like all upside. Like, I think the Richardson guy he hasn't had the success at the collegiate level. But when you were talking about the Cam thing, I was like, man, am I just too scared to pick Anthony Richardson? And that's why I want Stroud or Young. Are Stroud and Young ultimately my Blaine Gabberts? You know, and I don't think it's a perfect analogy, but what I'm saying is this is if the fear is they're not good enough, you know, it's kind of the Calvin Ridley, DJ Moore thing. It's who's better now and who's going to be better in 4 years.
Well,
and we thought DJ Moore was going to be a better receiver in 4 years, and we thought Calvin Ridley was a better receiver then.
The problem is we fall into this mindset after the combine, because like we can go back and look at Anthony Richardson's tape and it doesn't look as good as CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. Period.
Not at all.
Now,
not close.
When I look at Anthony Richardson at the combine, I look at that guy and say, I want him to be my quarterback. Like just by looks right away. That's my quarterback.
He looks
right
good
there.
in the football
That's
uniform.
the guy I want to be my
said.
quarterback. But I have to pull myself away from that and think about it. The tape does not line up what we saw in the NFL in the combine.
No.
Plus, while he had great numbers in the combine, you know, a high jump and a 40 is awesome, but it's not that useful for a quarterback in the NFL. You're never going to get a straight line shot to run down the field in the NFL as a quarterback. And the high jump really doesn't matter that much. So when it really comes down to it, I've got to pull myself away from the recency bias of seeing the combine, because he definitely won the combine.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like
he
the
needed
guy.
to.
He
was supposed to come out of that looking like that, right?
But
like that's what that event's made for.
Yeah, he doesn't look
Well,
in college. So
and again, none of this is to say that Anthony Richardson can't be successful.
Agreed.
I mean, maybe if you put a starter in front of him for a little while and let him sit, let him learn the NFL game. He has not played a lot of football. He only had 13 snaps as a starter for Florida. He had some backup snaps. Yeah, 13. Yeah, it starts for Florida. He had some backup snaps the year before, but it was nothing substantial. Listen,
so this sounds like an identical prospect to Trey Lance. Like, outside of the, he's clearly a better athlete all the way around. But
better
I think
conference.
like I feel like that is when I hear what Trey Lance was at that time. He didn't have the starting pedigree in college level, and you were really just drafting him for his upside and his athleticism, right? That scares me a little bit, if I'm being honest with you. If we want to start talking about him being compared to Trey Lance has not transitioned into this league in a very successful way just as yet.
Agreed.
Panther Nation would be fucking devastated if we traded up to number 1
and picked
and took either of Anthony Richardson. God forbid they take Will Levis, dude.
No.
We're gonna burn Mint Street to the ground.
Why Big
That's
Jordan said
indeed
it
what
great.
happened.
Why Big Jordan said it great in the chat. He said AR was our guy when we were at 9.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And
I
Levis
agree
was
with
our
that.
guy at 9. I mean, you could probably, I know people get feisty or salty about Levis, but those guys aren't in the conversation anymore. You wouldn't think.
Yeah, man, dude,
it's two guys.
They're not in the conversation. You need to take 2 of the guys that are the best throwers of the football, and the film does not lie. That is by far Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. Moving up to draft either one of those other 2 quarterbacks, they are projects. They're not ready to play right now. You should have re-signed Sam Darnold if that's what you intend to do. I mean, listen, right now the great debate is between 2 men. It's CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. And it's really as simple as that, man. Real quick, Donnie Lynn with the $10 super sticker. Appreciate you, Donnie. I mean, there's no reason why the Panthers should be entertaining Anthony Richardson at all anymore. That was at pick 9. Dude, we're at number 1. You have to take the best quarterback available.
You can support the podcast by hitting the thumbs up button, subscribing, hitting the bell for every time we go live. There are ways to monetarily support the podcast, but your calls at 252-228-5098, your support in the chat, those thumbs up are greatly appreciated. Consider becoming a C3 super fan, and thank you for all the people that have supported us throughout the years and tonight especially. Let's go to the next call.
What's up, C3 Podcast? This is Nick Hedden. What's going on? Hope everybody's well. I really enjoyed the picks and the signings today. Not really picks, but of course, but the signings, I mean, and the moves that have been made. It just goes to show you that, that Scott has said, hey, let me do give me my full GM duties and let me do my thing. I wanted to address the sentiments on OBJ. You got to look at it like this. When's the last time you heard anything about him doing anything out of the ordinary? You know what I mean? Like, this is not the same OBJ that was warring, going toe-to-toe with Jay Norm. You know what I mean? Time in the league, not only that, experiences as far as injuries, setbacks, and things like that. a lot of these things humble you. A lot of these things have a way of maturing you. So, you know what I'm saying? The OBJ that you may be getting today may not be the same OBJ that you would get maybe 5 years ago. So I don't think we really have anything to fear in that regard as far as him being a D or anything like that. All I ask is that he is able to deliver the same production as he was before the recent injuries. Y'all keep pounding. God bless. Peace.
Keep pounding.
I like that call. Actually, I agree with him. I don't think OBJ is a true number one anymore. I think he shines when you put him on it. Like, if we still had DJ and OBJ, I think that's OBJ's best scenario right there. To have DJ on one side and him on the other. But I don't think he's the number one guy anymore. That could be wrong.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm not really ready for those types of additions until we get closer to not this season, but like where I've my belief that we're going to be close to winning is more than just optimism. Right now is the only reason I think we're going to be good is because, man, we should be better than we were last year because we got a better coaching staff and we're getting better. You know, like I don't really need the Odell Beckham name right now. I would be happier if we were like, oh man, we got this guard.
Yeah,
we signed this guard, and that's going to free us up in the draft to maybe pick a running back. I would rather for us to do something like that, so where you can go into the draft. So when I mentioned Kareem Hunt earlier, he's only 27, but like, you know what? These are the type of players in the positions where they're not dime a dozen, but they're easier to find a guy that can contribute early, running back, wide receiver, something like that. Go out and get me another guard for the rotation.
Hey, can I raise you one Jerry Jeudy, who
I do like this name.
Also played at Alabama. The Broncos have had trade talks with NFL teams about wide receivers, Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, and Cortland Sutton.
Jeudy.
So the Broncos are looking to move some pieces. Dude, could you imagine, let's just say hypothetically, Bryce Young throwing to Jerry Jeudy, dude, that Alabama connection here in Carolina? Like, that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. If you're going to have an elite franchise quarterback, at least one that you're hoping is going to be elite, you have to put weapons around him early on. That's the type of pick I would love. And keep in mind, I don't necessarily know, but keep in mind, we still have our 39 pick, which I'm not necessarily willing to give up. I don't want to, but we also have 2 third-round picks. So we do have some firepower to go out and be aggressive. I wouldn't mind that at all, man. I think it was criminally underserviced with Russell Wilson as his quarterback.
He was good.
Yeah.
And Jerry Jeudy, to be honest, has been productive every year of his career despite crappy quarterbacks.
And just keep in mind, he's, I feel like it's people are maybe misunderstanding Cody. Cody is not saying Jerry Jeudy was playing with Bryce Young. He's saying that it would be an Alabama connection. That's all he's saying, not that they were on the team together.
Right.
But it is like, they're saying the asking price is high. What is too high for us to trade for?
If it's just a third round, I'm saying let's rock with it.
We can't do our second round because our second round this year is like a first because it's so high up in the draft, right?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't want to do a second for him.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Is there any wide receiver worth trading the 39th pick for a proven number one guy? You're guaranteed he's going to plug and play, proven number one guy. Would you trade a second round pick for him, 39?
I mean, in my mind,
got to pay him pretty soon, though.
Yeah, but I mean, still, he's on a rookie contract for right now. It would be about, I don't know the exact dollar amount, but I mean, he's still on a rookie deal.
The question is you get, if he's on, he was a first round pick.
Yeah.
Oh man, he was a first round pick, right?
I want him bad. Yeah.
He's only played 2 years.
Yeah.
No,
That's
3.
what I'm saying. And if you
so you would get year 4. See, this is the thing. You get this
more
year
than 5.
You get this year, then you get the 5th-year option.
But you would have to do the 5th-year option
like now.
Today, yeah, you'd have to do it immediately.
Which why not?
Yeah, why wouldn't you? You're right. Go all in. I mean, if you're gonna go all in, go all in.
Who would you rather have?
Look at his
Who would you rather have, Jerry Jeudy or DeAndre Hopkins?
Hopkins. I would rather him be able to
Hopkins,
teach TMJ and Shy Smith about how to be a good receiver, even Laviska Shenault, you know?
Yeah, but how about this? Would you rather have Jerry Jeudy or a pretty good wide receiver in this draft?
DJ, well, how about this? Would you rather have Jerry Jeudy for a second for our 39th or DJ Chark for our 3rd?
Probably DJ Chark for the 3rd.
Okay.
I mean, again, I really like Jeudy, but that 39.
Dude, he had 970.
That can be a really good player for us.
It could be, but Jeudy could be a good player for us.
Yeah, I hear it. I hear it. What are his stats, Tony?
He played in 15 games. He started 14 games. He had 67 catches for 972 yards, and he had 6 touchdowns. He had 856. The question is, what's up with this catch rate here? He had
well,
you know, is that bad quarterback? Is that drops? Is it combination?
You had Teddy B in 22. Remember that?
Yeah.
Or 21, I mean. And then last year he had then last year you had Russell Wilson. Hold on. How was he not starting in
2020?
Hold on.
Hurt. He was hurt last year.
I know. Well, not in 2021. He played in 10 games, but he was only starting in 5. Why?
He must have been injured.
That is weird. Yeah.
He must have been injured. Look at this. He had a 46% catch rate, but he had 856 catches yards his first season. That's wild.
Yeah.
I like Jerry Jeudy. I think he's kind of like he's like got size and speed, which I like about him.
Yeah.
But that's what TMJ is. Like, if you were to have a quarterback that could get the ball to him, I feel like you have that he's basically the same thing as Jerry Jeudy, just hasn't been given an equal opportunity.
Think so?
Yeah.
What do you think about that comp, Cody?
Say the comp again.
Jerry Jeudy and TMJ being similar in
no, I think TMJ is a lot taller. How tall is Jeudy? He's like 6 foot, right? He's not a tall guy.
What was didn't TMJ run really fast? Isn't he fast?
TMJ was faster. I think Terrace ran a 4.40 at the combine. So I mean, but again, Jerry Jeudy was a number 1 wide receiver type of prospect, precise route runner, can put defensive backs in a blender. I mean, yeah, he could do it all. I mean, really, like I said, at this point at the receiver position, I'm not too picky, man. I just want to see a really good talent added to this team that's going to help one of our rookie quarterbacks hit the ground running, whoever that ends up being.
Yeah.
Don't you think that is in a class? If you go to this draft class, there's no wide receiver in this group that people are just gushing about to the level that they will be next year of Marvin Harrison Jr. I know you like the Zay Flowers guy. There's like 3 players though, and none of them are like, oh, this is going to be Megatron or whatever.
But the good news is that I could see every one of these wide receivers making it to 39, and we would have our pick of the litter of the best wide receiver in this group. I know there isn't like a clear. I mean, and that might be
not a receiver all the way until the 2nd round.
Maybe not. At least maybe top 5 receivers. But I mean, like after that combine, I know that combine is like got a lot of people shook about this wide receiver class. I could see them having a lot of people falling to the 2nd that should have been 1st round picks before the combine.
How tall is this guy? See, I don't think
5'9.5".
This is the problem. None of the receivers in this class are big and fast and strong.
Yeah, I mean, they don't necessarily have it all, but look, let me tell you, dude, this guy, when you watch Steve Smith loves this guy. When you watch this guy on film, his separation ability is second to none, man. He ran a 4.4 at the combine. He has elite top speed, separation ability, yards after catch ability. He has versatility. Dude, imagine like a faster Deebo Samuel. This dude is built like that. He's super strong. And yeah, he's already drawing that Antonio Brown, Steve Smith kind of comparison. So, I mean, I would love to have this guy if he's available at pick 39. I've heard a lot of rumors that he might end up sneaking into the first round because people are so high on him. He might be a late first round pick, but man, if the Panthers could somehow figure out a way to get this dude on the team, oh, dude, I'd be jumping for joy, man.
Here, tell me, did we hear this call? I don't remember.
Yes, sir. We traded up to the first overall pick. It's your boy JJ. I was calling in, of course, because I mean, like, I think by this point we all know we want to.
Did I play this one yet? I can't hear anybody. Is anybody listening?
I'm not talking. Yeah, I don't know if I've heard that one or not.
Okay.
No, that was new. Go ahead.
Okay.
So we all got our feelings on like who we want to be the quarterback or whatever. But honestly, how do y'all really feel about how much we gave up? Do y'all feel like we gave up too much or gave up way less than we thought? I mean, like, it's getting annoying to me because everyone keeps saying we got rigged, but I don't think we really gave up that much because, I mean, like, we switched first-round picks this year. We kept the first, second-round pick this year and gave up the second one. And, I mean, like, giving up a first next year and DJ Moore sucks, but, I mean, like, to try and get your franchise quarterback, I don't understand how, like, you don't really look at those two and what you gave up, the two things you gave up, and see that as a win-win. Honestly, it's not a steal. And honestly, I don't even really give a fuck about that second-round pick in 2025 because we're still going to have a first-round pick that year. So,
yeah.
I mean, like, tell me what y'all think about that. Of course, who y'all want. Of course, I want to see a Buckeye, but, yeah, or whether or not you'd even want to trade the pick. But, yeah, sounds great. Looks like we got good things heading forward for the Panthers. But, well, what are your predictions next year, honestly, in terms of record, I know we got a lot ahead of us still. We did just sign Bradley Bozeman. I'm hoping we can sign the tight end or a wide receiver before free agency's over, before the draft gets here, of course. So keep pounding and use that code C3.
Hey, keep pounding. Shout out, JJ. I mean, listen, let's y'all want to talk about this trade back for a minute. Because, again, there's all these rumors that the Panthers would like to trade back. And first and foremost, I don't believe them. I just don't. I think that if the Panthers have enough conviction to move up to number one, then they have someone in mind that they're moving up for. But with that said, if the Panthers are going to trade down, there's only one trade partner to be had. It's the Houston Texans. That's it. Because you have to guarantee that you walk out of this draft with either of Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. So you can only go down to number two. I said this on Twitter, and people thought that I was crazy. I said they need to give us their 12th pick this year and give us a first-round pick next year.
Oh.
Either the one that they got from Houston or the one that they got from Cleveland. I don't give a damn. People need to understand the gravity of the pick being made. Whoever's picking number one has such an incredible say-so in the future of both of these organizations. Like that is, and we have all the leverage. If they want a player like Bryce Young, well, damn it, make them pay to go up and get them.
See, I think there's just, if there was a clear-cut number one like a Trevor Lawrence coming into this where there was nobody else even close to his level, then I think that I could agree with you on that. You could hold him hostage. I don't think there's that guy though. I think that we may be able to finagle maybe like a next year's first round pick out of them to move down to 1 to guarantee Bryce Young if that's the guy they want. But they're not going to mortgage their franchise or their future when the consolation prize is either Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, where they're at right now. If they were at like number 5 or 6, then yeah, maybe. I just feel like you can't get a first round pick this year and next year for them to move up 1. Maybe 1 next year, but I don't think this year's possible.
I mean, maybe not. But again, to me, it's all on how much do they want the number 1 pick. If they are in love with Bryce Young,
good, but the consolation's pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's only in that scenario. Like I said, I don't think they're going to trade back. I think they want to control the draft. They want to have their say of quarterback, and I think they're going to pick a quarterback at number 1. But it has to be Houston if it was to happen. No one else.
I agree with you, and I think it would. If anything, if for some, it would be unprecedented. I feel like. The other thing too is even if it was that smart, would at any point would this start to say like, "Gosh, did the Bears do it too quickly?" I know the Bears wanted to figure out if they were going to get a wide receiver before they hit free agency, but the idea that like the Bears were just like the first person that called. I just saw a tweet too that said that Houston was talking to them about moving to number 1. So somehow that we got it done, but I don't know. It's like it was just like this. It was like, you want to trade? Yeah, let's do it. Boom.
Probably because the compensation was more from us than whatever it was going to be from Houston. And look, like I said this on Twitter, the Panthers essentially lost 1 first round pick.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's 2024 first round pick. We still have our second round pick. We still have a second round pick this year, which, by the way, the pick that we gave them, I mean, that pick number 61 is damn near a third round pick more than it is like a legit second round pick.
Yeah.
So this is, in my opinion, the best possible deal that the Panthers could have made to get up to number 1.
Oh, Danger Duck 19282 Whitaker says Chris Campbell, Luke Kuechly, Mike Minard, Charles Johnson. Pretty sure that's in reference to all
the
players
people,
that finished their career.
Didn't Charles Johnson go somewhere else, or did he retire?
No, he retired.
Right.
Yeah.
But wasn't he looking
He's
for
from
something else? Nobody
Atlanta.
got him, though?
He's from Atlanta. I don't know. Well, that's a good question. With someone else. All right, last call of the night.
Hey guys, Panthers Kingdom to leave another message. Anybody heard about Zane Gonzalez returning to the Carolina Panthers?
I was
and
just
Eddie
about to pull it up.
walking.
He read my mind.
According to Panthers Nation webpage and Facebook page, it's not set in stone, but they said that Zane Gonzalez will be our kicker next season. And if those rumors are true, I'd like to hear what you guys think about it. That's all I have to say. We definitely got fleeced by the DJ Moore trade. That's all I have to say.
Oh, stop.
Zane Gonzalez is going to be the Panthers kicker in 2023, and Eddie Pinheiro is expected to generate significant interest on the market. What do you guys think about this, man?
It's interesting because this is 2 years in a row the dude has injured himself kicking. Wasn't both of them on the side like practice kicks as well?
So he got hurt the year before too. I didn't remember that.
Yeah, he got hurt 2 years in a row. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. Because remember, we brought in the guy who had the mustache,
the giant guy.
Yeah,
the guy that looked like the Puerto Rican version of a Fabio or whatever.
Yes, that dude. And I know we brought him in the middle of the season because of something happened with Zane.
I thought that was Zane.
I'm pretty sure.
I thought we had that other dude that went to the Commanders that we had to deal with. Joey Sly.
But he's been with the Commanders for like 3 years now. Like we've been without him. Yeah.
Is Pinheiro the guy that missed the extra point and the field goal in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Okay, bye, dude.
This guy. All right, so
bye, dude.
Bye, dude. I'm cool with that.
Gonzalez. This is necessary. This shouldn't be surprising. Is you couldn't go. Look, you have money allocated to Zane Gonzalez already. You signed him on that 2-year deal. You got screwed in that first. You already had to pay double kickers last year. So you might as well wait and see as we get closer to training camp, because these guys, it's not like they're out of shape and game shape. These guys just could go and kick at their high school or whatever and stay in shape. So I don't think jumping prematurely to pay Eddie Pinheiro to shore up our kicker deal was so necessary, given that we don't really love any of them.
Yep.
We should use a second round pick for a kicker.
The name you were thinking of the mustache guy was Ryan Santoso.
Yeah.
Yes, this
Ryan
dude is
Santoso,
he's one of my favorites.
All right, here's the situation. We
got to put up a pick.
In week 15, and the matchup against the Buffalo Bills in 2021, Gonzalez suffered a quad injury in warmups and had to be placed on injured reserve in that game, ending the season. On March 9th of 2022, Gonzalez signed a 1-year contract extension with the Panthers, and he was placed on injured reserve on August 30th after injuring his quad during the last preseason game while warming up. So 2 years in a row, his season was ended due to a quad injury warming up.
Don't like that.
Yeah, he signed with the Giants. Let me ask you this:
why won't it show you this tab? This you got to see this thing big like this. There might not be. Here it is.
Did we make the right decision between Eddie?
No, we should have kept Santosa. Look at this.
No, dude.
He was like 6'7".
Tony, you love mustaches, man. That's what it is. You love a good mustache.
He does.
Man.
Tony loves a handsome man. He won't lie to you, man.
I love good storylines.
Yeah, you love a good jawline, a good mustache, a nice head of hair. Yeah, I don't blame you, man. He's a handsome son of a bitch. But listen, I'm okay with Zane Gonzalez. I do think he was more consistent before he got hurt than Pinheiro does. And it's hard for fans to swallow that, missing the field goal in Atlanta when he had the opportunity, man. That's a rough look for him.
Was that week 1?
No. I'm talking about Atlanta.
That was the Atlanta game. He missed the extra point that lost,
Yeah.
and then he missed the game-winning field goal in overtime.
Yep.
Oh, he missed that.
Excuse me.
Right.
He didn't lose that game for us, though.
That's what Tony said.
You're right. And I think he also messed up the first week against the Browns.
Yes,
he missed one against Tampa Bay too, I believe.
Yeah. I think that he did miss the Browns one, but I mean, to be honest with you, the dude was money the entire season. When you look at his stats, he was like number 1 in the NFL from a kicking standpoint, from percentages. And total number of kick, like it wasn't even just that he was kicking easy field goals and he wasn't having to kick many field goals. He had a high volume and a high make percentage. And again, he was top 3 in the league last time I had checked.
It's all about when you get him, when you miss him.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's what it's all about.
Real quick, I want to give some love to some people who have donated. Steve Heigler with the $9.99 says, where do you think Laviska Shenault fits in? You think we wait to draft for tight ends? Listen, Shenault is a big, strong runner, physical. He's basically going to do everything that we asked him to do in Carolina last year. A lot of those jet sweeps, a lot of that motion before the snap. A lot of screens and stuff like that. Laviska is going to be really good for that. And that type of weapon, I think Frank Reich is really going to want to implement into our offense. Coach P with the €2 says at Perry and Dante Demas Jr. is a sleeper. Appreciate you, Coach P. And CK, we have a brand new member, man. Why don't you welcome him to the show?
Well. We have a new member of the C3 Superfan Club, and that is Little Ninjas 24. He said, I want to join this club. I want to help support C3 in accomplishing their goals and accomplishing some semblance of success. So he hit that join button that you all can right below for $1.99. Support the podcast. Not required, but much appreciated. Welcome to the club, Little Ninjas.
Hey, appreciate you, brother. Yeah, man. Tony, we have the best fans, dude.
Yeah, we've been is our best. The reason they're the best fans is because they're our friends, right? And that's what this podcast is about. Is look, I've always said this: is I'm not a football expert. I'm an expert football fan. I take what we do seriously, but I do not take myself seriously. I like to get up here, joke around, and have fun. But we know that our community is informed because these people keep their ear to the ground like crazy as all of these names have been flying around. About through with the news, I think, is that just let me make sure I don't have any calls in the chamber. I just want to say, any thoughts about the Jimmy Garoppolo to are there any free agent new things that stuck out to you? I'll start with just this, is I think Hargrave to the 49ers, like as you watch like a team like the Saints who are having to shed all of their defensive identity, and the 49ers seem like they're trying to reload. Thought that was impressive. I think that was an important signing. They said, and I think that means no Javon Kinlaw. Actually, I'll play this song. I played this. It looks like, man, this is a cursing one too. While you guys think about any of the last news and notes you wanted to mention.
You meet C-Dog on K3.
What's up, C-Dog?
Man, I hope everybody having a great day today. When you come in here and make sure you hit the motherfucking like button and subscribe to this great fucking content.
Appreciate you, brother.
I don't understand why the fuck did we sign Vonn Bell. We already got fucking Chen. And we just signed a fucking safety last year, and motherfucking Xavier Woods. So why the fuck are we still signing fucking safeties? I don't know, man. I didn't like that feel safe. Signing, at all. But I hope everybody have a great night. And we did get fixed by the fucking Bears because they got fucking DJ Moore. But anyways, man, everybody have a great time. I hope we don't draft fucking Bryce Young, bitch ass. But besides that, man, everybody have a great fucking night. Keep pounding.
Sad C-Dog.
I'm kind of on his boat though. Like I kind of feel that way too. I'm all Stroud all the way. I forgot the point I was going to make.
All right,
that's a good man.
Cody, any free agent storylines you want to talk about before we?
I mean, we've all been waiting for this shoe to fall for a long time. Aaron Rodgers no longer.
Oh yeah,
it's true. It's happened. Oh, it's the Kleeman guy again.
Yeah, man. 15 years after longtime Packers quarterback Brett Favre was traded to the Jets. Now, longtime Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers is doing the same thing.
Wow.
While Trey Ringo, who first broke the news to the Jets' progress, says it's done.
Damn, you know what sucks about this is that's going to dominate the news tomorrow. We're not going to hear about Carolina trading the one.
They are saying it's not, I'm reading this, and they are saying that it's not official yet.
Well,
but they are saying that it's close.
Yeah, it's so for instance, Ian Rappaport, his response was, "I wish this was real, but it's not." Basically, he was saying this is not.
So Trey Wingo
nothing is happening yet. Basically they're saying like this guy Trey Wingo is just an insider, I guess. He's just somebody who has some sort of a source or whatnot that's saying things are happening. It's very possible that they're close, but it is not like it's not one of these things that's being reported as a fact at this point.
All right.
I told you the Kleeman guy sus as my kids.
Well, it's not even just him. It's the guy. Trey Wingo was the one who initially was reporting it. And people were just like tagging Ian, and Ian's like, I've been in the building all day. This is not happening yet. I wish it was.
I saw one other, and it was before these reports came out, is that there was kind of reports that the deal was agreed upon by that the Packers and the Jets have their ends done. Like they
similar to
feel
what Deshaun
comfortable.
Watson.
Like they feel comfortable about what they're getting. It's just waiting on Aaron Rodgers to make up his mind if he wants to do it at this moment.
Do I want to make $60 million or not? It's so dumb. Like it's happening.
Yeah,
if all that's locked up, it's happening. Come on,
I wish he would have gone
not
to
turning down $60
Miami. I
million.
just wanted to see Aaron Rodgers in Miami with that group.
Here's the dumb thing about this whole situation, Greg, to be honest with you, is the Packers can't do anything in free agency until he's made his decision. Like they can't.
So he's kind of sticking it to them.
Oh, they can't do it. Like they're basically now holding they're holding, like if he decides he wants to go somewhere else and be traded, like then they
get
have
a bunch
so
more
much
money.
cap space available. They can actually go out there and do some stuff. Right now, they don't have anything they can do anything with right now. They're just kind of sitting on their hands waiting for him to make his decision. And Rodgers is making this a much more difficult situation. It's similar to the situation the Baltimore Ravens are in with Lamar Jackson, because similar because if they have to know, number one, they can't make moves in free agency right now, because if somebody offers him something that they want to match, like they're going to have to eat up all of their cap space to be able to pay him if somebody matches his number. And
But
if
they don't want to match him.
Brett Favre all over.
They would
again.
pay him right now if they wanted to match.
Yeah.
Period. Like they pay him right now.
Lamar?
The Ravens. Yeah, Lamar.
Well, they're actually getting other people to do their dirty work and drive the price down.
You're
Maybe
right.
is what I heard
You're right.
somebody say. But
I'm,
all right.
I'm saying
I wanted to
they
see
would pay him
Rodgers
right
in
now, they want
Miami. We'll be waiting to see Lamar. Was there any other big news around the league that you wanted to mention?
Tony, well, James signed, but there's one that's more speculative, and I wanted to
Baker Mayfield to the Bucks.
Yep.
No, I want to get everyone's opinion on this. So okay, this was there was a bunch of back and forth today. There were rumors going around. There's that name again, Dove Kleiman, who put out today that the Panthers are open to trade quarterback Matt Corral, the 2022 third round pick. And then literally right after this, Vashti Hurt from Carolina Blitz goes on, and she says she can confirm that they're not shopping Matt Corral.
Nobody knows shit. You know what? They're both true. They're both true. They're shopping and not shopping him at the same time.
Yeah, and I'm sure they would listen to whatever deal. But my question to all of you is this: would you rather have a young backup quarterback on a rookie contract, or, especially knowing that we still want to trade for maybe a Hopkins or Jerry Jeudy or whatever, would you consider dealing away Matt Corral if you could get some picks for him?
Oh, hell yeah, we would.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we would take anything from him. We'll take a 6 for him right now. Now, him being, no, and not because it's not a referendum on him. Is that like, if you could get anything, that's better than not. It's better than re-signing PJ Walker and saying, "Oh, we're gonna have another vet, then we're gonna have PJ as our third, and then we're just ultimately gonna have to cut this kid."
I don't think that. It doesn't mean that we would have to cut him. Like, here's
what, you gotta put him on the practice squad and somebody's gonna take him anyway? Like, you can only run so many quarterbacks. I think what they should do with my man right here is I think they should try to get him prepped for the preseason and have him looking good, and then be like, "Oh, we've got a number 1 quarterback, but we've got this crazy guy we drafted last year who was coming off an injury and fucking looks incredible." It's like the Jordan Love thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, you keep the Jimmy Garoppolo, and then we say, and then we con some fucking team into a 3rd round pick instead of a 6th.
So here's my issue with that is, like, yes, if we were to get another vet quarterback, not PJ Walker, I could see that being the case. But right now, the truth is Matt Corral's contract is way too easy to get, too small to give up, right? Unless you're getting the equivalent of what we gave up for him to move up to the 3rd to get him, right? You guys forget that we gave up 2 3rd round picks to be able to get him.
Yeah.
So if we're going to get him, if we can get 2 3rd round picks to recoup that, sure. But I also do not like the idea of going and signing PJ Walker, who's going to ask for probably triple, if not quadruple, what Matt Corral is making. To sit on the bench. I think I would much rather give a guy like Matt Corral an opportunity to be the guy. And who knows, in 3-4 years, maybe he signs as a backup, or maybe he's good enough to where we do end up trading him after he shows out in 1 or 2 games because of whoever we draft ends up having a sprained ankle or something, right? Like, there's all these things that can happen.
And
We
two
need to
things,
get
two things that I want people to remember. We have some of the worst, reportedly, at least from the players, we have some of the worst turf in the NFL. What happens on turf? Players get hurt on turf. Are we really going to pretend like the Carolina Panthers didn't play 4 quarterbacks last year and started 3 of them? Like, it would be so dumb, man. If your starter goes down, whoever that might be, you have a young buck ready and waiting to go on a cheap contract who's ready to come in and show what he's capable of doing. Whether that's auditioning for another team long term or just being serviceable in the meantime. Dude, all of my fandom and everything I've ever said about Matt Corral does not just go out of the window now that we have the first overall pick. I really think he has a ton of talent, and it would be a waste for us to just throw him away for some chump change.
And we forget, this is the same management team that we had that drafted him, who, by the way, drafted him to be the starting quarterback eventually for this team, right? So you still have guys who scouted him, who drafted him with that in mind in the future moving forward. It's not a guarantee. They might not have seen him as an immediate starter right away, but they traded up into the 3rd round to make sure they could get this guy. They liked him. Now, how much of that was rule, I don't know. But this is still the general manager that drafted him. We can't forget that.
I hear what you're saying, but we've made it a point to bring up that Matt Rule was the guy who made the final call. He had full control. That was a Matt Rule decision to draft Matt Corral. And I don't think Matt Corral's a terrible guy. I don't know what he's going to be. All I'm saying is, if I have a chance to sign PJ Walker, who I've seen in the NFL, or Matt Corral, who got injured in preseason, I'm probably signing PJ Walker as my guy over Matt Corral if I can get value out of Matt Corral. Because let's face it, if Matt Corral doesn't play this year, you're never getting any value out of him ever again, period. That's it. He's done. I mean, seriously, he's done. You maybe get a 6th round pick for him, maybe in the future, if he doesn't play this year. And he may not play this year. So why not get value out of him right now if you can? And sign a guy like PJ Walker
we need
that
to
you
get
know
him to play
can do
in
the
some,
job if you need to.
We need to get him to play in some preseason games and look good.
But wouldn't you want some picks before the draft?
That's why you would trade away Matt
like
Corral.
you're not going to get anything that's really going to turn into anything this year. Like what you should be doing is getting something that's going to be all right. So I guess you could get a 6 this year, but we might be able to get a 3rd if for some reason, like what if he went out there and balled out one of those games and then his state, and we're like, oh, well, we got Bryce Young, so we're willing to deal him.
Here's my thing that I think is important for us to realize, right? We've seen everything PJ Walker can be, and it's okay. It's a backup quarterback, and I agree with that.
Better than Matt Corral's shown us so far.
Well, not necessarily. You know, when we looked at the exact same tape in the preseason, PJ Walker was not was not better than Matt Corral in the preseason.
Yes, he was.
No, he was not.
No, they weren't. It was impossible. It was literally.
He's won an NFL game before. It doesn't matter.
This is my entire point about the preseason is that none of these guys are in a good situation to even be successful.
But here's my thing, Tony. After the game, PJ Walker came out and he said, I can't play as bad as I did today in the situation that I'm in. He knew he was the odd man out. He played horrendously in the preseason. When he came out and he played in the regular season, he was a completely different player. And that's the Cody's point, right? I agree with that to a degree. But here's the thing with Matt Corral, right? We drafted him. He could be the next Brock Purdy. They were drafted in the same draft, and Brock Purdy was the last pick of the draft.
Wow, he's not playing for Kyle Shanahan, bro.
Well, he's playing for Frank Reich, who's an offensive-minded head coach now.
That's right, damn it. A good offensive line.
If he turns into Kyle Shanahan, if Frank Reich is as good as Kyle Shanahan has been, I can't wait to see it. No,
it's not saying that he's as good as him, but I think it's also fair to say that Matt Corral deserves an opportunity to show what he can do.
I think we're having 2 different conversations ultimately.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you guys are having the conversation of what Matt Corral could be, and we're talking about what PJ Walker is at this moment. And like when you keep a backup quarterback or anything like that, you want them to know they're just the backup, right?
Yeah.
Like, is that we don't want, I'm not arguing that PJ Walker is going to have an upside. I'm arguing this is that maybe PJ Walker is better to run a quarter worth of plays throughout the season than Matt Corral is at this moment. But I mean, here is that it's going to be difficult. Like, is Matt Corral just going to settle into a backup role? You know, all those types of things. It's like, look, you really want him to be Jimmy G.
I would say
Isn't that what the
but
Patriots prematurely drafted Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah.
And, or at least that's what some people thought. They made him look fantastic in the preseason.
But
he
also
came in and
remember,
had one game or something like that when Tom
No,
Brady
remember
left.
Tom Brady got suspended for Deflategate, and then Jimmy Garoppolo came in and played
pretty well, right?
season.
And then all of a sudden he became like
well.
a monster deal. But like
Right.
what I'm saying is you want to imitate that. If you have the first round pick, I mean, if you have the number, you know, and you know, he's never going to supersede CJ Stroud. It's just not going to happen. It don't matter. It's like everybody will be fired before that moment could happen. So, like, what if you could make him look like, oh, this just isn't that he could be great under better circumstances? Kirk Cousins was to RG3 as Matt Corral is to CJ Stroud.
All right. Hey, how about this? We need to save some stuff for tomorrow night.
I know. I want to go too.
We got another show tomorrow. We've been going for over 2 hours here tonight.
I was just asking what the free agents you wanted to talk about, and Cody went on the Matt Corral crap. This one's on you, Cody.
I don't give a damn.
Hopefully, we'll have plenty of stuff to talk about tomorrow.
Oh, we will.
With
We will.
The second day of free agency.
Is there any last words that you have to have while we give Greg enough time to get back to CK, Cody? I'm done with what I wanted to talk about tonight.
I mean, dude, listen. Like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell every single time C3 Panthers Podcast goes live every Friday at 7 p.m. You get to be a part of the show on the Friday Free for All. Join via StreamYard, be a part of the conversation, and talk about the Carolina Panthers with us. Follow my written content on drafttech.com, where I'm the analyst for the Carolina Panthers doing mock drafts. And yeah, that's it for me, man. Follow your boy on Twitter at Cody Lack, CODYLAC. Holla at your boy, baby.
My name's Tony Dunn. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com. That's right, CarolinaCatChronicles.com, which I want to resurrect from the ashes of what it was. Look, basically it's this. It's a website that I pay for that we could use. And folks, I want you guys, the C3 listeners, the fans of the Carolina Panthers, let's figure out how we can make a cool place to congregate and talk about the Carolina Panthers. Make it yours. Just like this podcast, I want you guys to make it yours. Make the website yours. Got ideas about mock draft articles or discussions, back and forth conversations, whatever, video, written. I got the domain. I got unlimited space. Let's build it together. Follow me on Twitter at @cat_chronicles. Subscribe to the show. Check us out on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, all those great places. Help us continue to grow. It's going to be our best season. It's the year of 20C3. I tell you that, 2023. CK, you got a baby coming soon. Tomorrow night, we're having an impromptu baby shower. What I want you to do, I want you to put your Amazon link tomorrow. Get it ready. We're going to put it out there just a little bit for me. I'm going to buy you some diapers. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy
You're going to need them.
Yeah, as one of my good friends had a baby shower. I went to a baby shower this past week. I have 3 kids. They're way in the rear view. But man, let's buy CK some diapers. Let's do it.
So
Why not?
I appreciate it. And I want to give a shout out to Nick Montiero, man. He reached out to me, direct messaged me and asked for that. And he bought a couple of things from the list. And I just want to say thank you publicly to him.
How incredible that is.
Yeah, it was
Dude,
awesome.
Nick is the man. Such a sweetheart.
I know, dude. I know. It was very nice. Again, I don't want anybody to feel like it's asking anybody to do anything they don't want to do. If you want to help out,
that's what a baby shower is, Cody. CK. That's what it is.
Cheap.
It's one of those things that what we do is we got to go and help you get started on the right foot.
Sure.
Because you're our friend.
Yeah, I know. But it just feels weird. After I even talked about it on last week's show, I was like, That just felt dirty.
I wish
I would have come up with it's a baby shower. I'm making it happen.
It's like we tell people that want to donate to us. It's always appreciated, never required.
Sure.
That's all you gotta do, man. If you find it in your heart to give a little bit to CK and the new baby fund, man, that would be awesome.
Is it boy
man.
or girl? It's a boy. It's a girl. It's a girl. You got a
girl.
boy and you're having a girl also.
Yeah.
Greg, tomorrow. Oh, he doesn't.
Before we go, I just wanted to make sure we shout out Trey Burton, donated $10. Nice. He said, think of a scenario where the quarterback we draft gets hurt and Corral goes in and proves he can ball. You then at least have a valuable asset for a possible trade at that point. No reason to trade him now.
Let's not rush it. I'm with this. I like that.
Fantastic comment, Trey.
You do realize that you're pinning that on hoping that our starting quarterback redraft gets hurt,
you're not going to get any form anyway. Oh, look at this. Karen Choi with the diapers. Now I got to send it to CK.
Hey, $10. Appreciate it, Karen.
Thank you. Look at this. Tomorrow night, I do. Now it's got to and YouTube's going to take $2.
If you guys want to save anything, I do have an Amazon baby shower list or registry or whatnot. I'll post so that way you guys aren't like paying YouTube any money.
Yeah. With Greg tomorrow night, baby shower for CK on the show.
Let's do it.
Thank you, Karen, by the way.
Let's do it.
Thank you, Karen Choi, for the diapers. We're so excited we wet ourselves tonight. Oh, say go. Oh, man, I've had so much fun. And guess what? Man. Think about this. Look, we had over 300 viewers tonight. We all ran on, 2 hours? Two and a half.
Almost 2.5, yeah.
And the names that we signed were Shy Tuttle, which no one knew, Vonn Bell, and Bradley Bozeman. Think about how cool it's going to be when we announce what our fucking quarterback is on the NFL draft night.
Hey, Tony, I am telling you right now, that draft party is going to be the most lit draft party.
We gotta start making plans. We got to figure out how to make it really cool this year.
Yeah.
And things that we did, things that we do. I think in the past, we usually give away stuff. I know with the fantasy football league, I've always given away our first round, a jersey of our first round pick. So you know what? We're going to have some giveaway. We're going to make it fun. I want you guys to brainstorm ideas for the draft party. Got a lot going on with C3 tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Go to CarolinaCatChronicles.com. And if you don't read anything, just click on an ad. That's like donating 50 cents right there.
Right.
Let's get the hell out of here. Oh, Greg, you were gone. We were saying goodbye. Greg, Friday nights, where can they get you?
9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. Geeks Chasing Squirrels Across the Multiverse. Check it on YouTube. We cover TV, movies, books, all good stuff. So,
super movie recommendation right now, guys, is Barbarian on HBO.
Okay.
HBO Max. It's weird. It's like kind of odd at first. You don't know if you love it, then you dislike. It's good though. That's my recommendation. Cody Lack, take us out of here.
C3 Panther Nation. Until next time, keep pounding.